What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Woo! Yay! Hooray!
Still no DJ. But we got the ghost of DJ, maybe. Ooh.
Oh, he won't say anything. He's just going to leer at us.
Yeah, he's going to just look at us.
Well, conspicuously not saying anything because the illusion of his appearance would shatter in an instant if his mouth moved.
Listen, I will talk about it, but I'll take that over the I think that was as good as it's ever been because they worked so much within their limitations that I wasn't nearly as off put by it as some other ones. But I don't want to spoil it because it's like the only thing you could possibly spoil in this movie, but we'll get to it. We will get to it. Before that, Diggins, some chit chat. How are you doing?
I'm all right. You know, it's almost Thanksgiving time here. I do enjoy a good Thanksgiving because I love to eat.
Have you seen the new balloons this year?
No, I didn't know there were new ones. Other than I know a couple years back they introduced Goku.
Oh yeah, there's a new balloon. Like there's a couple new balloons every year usually. That's like the goal.
Did they introduce someone getting sewed into the Charlie Brown balloon?
just the pants, yeah. They did not yet at least. But I do. Have you? Man, I want you to guess because I think you probably could. A couple of them. There are 6 new balloons, and like I was saying, there's usually like I don't know, 2 or 3 new balloons every year. One balloon like gets one balloon is like insanely outdated, so that one gets retired, and then one balloon hits a lamppost and knocks over, a truck or something. That one gets retired. So a lot of them, don't stick around. So there's like a rotation of new balloons. Like remember there was like one from like an internet like browser company or something. I can't remember what it was. It was bad.
Oh my god, no, I don't remember that.
Oh gosh, it was like. Do you remember Go Dog?
Dog?
I don't remember what it was. It might not.
Was
be
it Go Daddy?
No, it wasn't Go Dog. It was oh god, there was like a Thanksgiving balloon spot dog. I think it was a dog. But it wasn't any of the dogs you would know or care about. It was something else. Anyway, sometimes they're really important, and I'm sure that the companies that want them to be in the parade have to get rid of them or have to pay to keep them. So it's like, well, we don't really need this one. Anyway, Diggins, you want to take a shot at some new balloons that are getting introduced this year. There's I want to say there's 6, but I can only find pictures of 4. Oh, never mind. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So there's 6.
Are they new characters? Like they are characters that were only created recently, or are they just characters that have been around for a while but are only just now getting balloons?
It's a mix.
Okay.
A couple, but they're all over the place.
Lady Gaga from House of Gucci.
Close, but no. In fact, it was Jared Leto from House of Gucci / Morbius. It's the float that's half Morbius, half Jared Gucci, man. No, it is not that. Let's see.
Are there any Marvel characters, or have they already all been added many years ago?
There aren't, and I wonder, because obviously there was Spider-Man. I don't know if there's like an Iron Man balloon or something like that, because I don't have an image in my head for it. There's always been Spider-Man. Like, that one's been around forever.
Yeah, everyone loves Spider-Man.
It's pretty cool.
Except for
I don't know if there's a lot of those guys. Like, is there like a Batman balloon? I don't think so.
I don't know. I know there's a Goku.
There's a Goku. So I'll give you this. 2 of the balloons are things that Macy's makes. So, like, one of them's like something called Tiptoe, which is some sort of... Can't even guess. And then the second one is Tony the band leader bear. So that's also a Macy's-specific thing.
Yeah, I absolutely would never have gotten those.
Yeah, you couldn't know those.
I haven't set foot in a Macy's in decades.
There's also something called Ada Twist, and she is a scientist. It's a Netflix show, I guess. I feel like I've seen this design for like a thing before, where like it's a girl with like a just big circular head. It looks so much like it could be a billion things, but so there's that. That's the other one. But so then there's three that you could maybe have, guess. Give me one more guess, and then I'll tell you what they are.
Okay, I want this one to be a real one because I feel like I could get one.
I'll be fair to one of the guesses. They're one of the balloons. I think is coming back after it maybe killed somebody once, or something. The other one of the other balloons features a character that I thought already had a balloon, but is maybe in two balloons now. I don't know.
Is it Garfield?
Balloon, oh, that's a good guess. The third balloon will infuriate you. So the one that I thought was part of a thing is there's a Ronald McDonald balloon, a new one. I can't remember. So there's two incidents I can think of. One is Sonic the Hedgehog, where it knocked over a lamppost. And then there's another one. I can't remember what the other one is, but part of me thinks it's Ronald McDonald. Another balloon, Pikachu and Eevee by the Pokemon Company. So it's Pikachu with a little scarf on, Eevee with a little Christmas hat on, and they're both in a Pokeball kind of like design looking like sled. So that one's interesting because it's got Pikachu, and I'm pretty sure Pikachu, at least at some point, already had a balloon.
Yeah, I didn't know he'd ever went away, but I guess Pokemon as a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade level cultural phenomenon does wax and wane a little.
Well, I wonder, for whatever, the Ada Twist, right? It's some sort of cartoon thing. Maybe it's huge. Maybe the kids love it. But, I mean, I've never heard of it, so that's not a great sign. But I wonder, if Netflix goes into this, let's get a balloon in there for, 2 years, and then probably get rid of it. Or if they're, this Ada Twist, we know she's going to be the hot new thing, so we're going to really go in on that. Because, there was, a Paw Patrol balloon last year, and they've done some recent things that I'm like, oh, yeah, that's, something I've recognized. But anyway, the last one, take one guess, because I think you could get the last balloon if you tried. This is a relatively, culturally relevant thing currently.
Gosh. Oh. Now I'll be embarrassed when I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair to you, I wouldn't have been surprised if this came out last year, but this year is its first year apparently.
What was big last year? Oh, obviously it's the coronavirus.
Yeah, it's that bat from Coronavirus. No, it is in fact Grogu, the Baby Yoda. However,
how dare you call him that?
However, it is not the Baby Yoda we all know and love, the look you'd kind of expect. No. It is and I swear this is real, and when you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, yes it is. Funko Pop inspired Baby Yoda.
No.
So,
no.
Yeah. I'm gonna put the link in the chat so you can look at it yourself. But
yeah, I need to see this.
It's what you'd expect. It's a Baby Yoda that kind of looks like a Funko Pop, man, and it's chasing, I guess, its little circle that it loves so much.
That's not regular Baby Yoda.
Nope. Although Baby Yoda does feel like a character, designed to be a Funko Pop as well. It has the eyes are the same color as the Funko Pops. The head shape is already kind of off. So, yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god, it is actually literally the Funko Pop inspired. Baby Yoda.
Oh yeah, it is the Funko Pop. They went to the Funko Pop people and were like, "Give us your best Baby Yoda design." I wonder if the head bobbles. Probably doesn't. That'd be kind of cool. The heads
also,
on so many of them don't bobble. It's so weird.
I just want to say, if you call Baby Yoda Grogu, you are either A, an employee of the Disney Corporation, or B, a narc.
I was going to say, I figured B would be a cop. I am a cop. Space cop. I'm one of those big black, robots from the last episode of the last season that walks in dubstep sounds and stuff. Those were cool. So I looked it up, by the way. There's a whole show called Ada Twist Scientist, and it's based off a book, and it's this small girl with a giant head who is I assume in preschool or something, who has like flasks and goggles and stuff and does science. So that's what Ada Twist is. I've never heard of this, but whatever.
No, it's a little above the age demographic of my niece, which is the only way I know about children's shows anymore.
Right, and that's me too, where it's like, oh yeah, I guess that's like something like you see, like a toy, and you're like, oh yeah, I guess I've seen that thing for a couple of years. That must be big. Like that's kind of where I figured out what Paw Patrol was. I was like, this just won't go away.
The kids love the Paw Patrol.
They really do. It's so hot right now. It's fine. It's weird that the little dog is a cop, but
they're all
whatever.
Cops.
Yeah, it's there've been. Did you know, by the way, that when they used to do the Macy's Day Parade balloons, they would just like let them go, and then people would shoot them down. Yeah, they were made to be pretty disposable. They weren't like these giant, really well put together vinyl, whatever they are. It was like just a balloon in the shape of like a dog, and it would just all right, goodbye. What are they gonna do with it?
I guess that's how we dispose of regular balloons often.
That's true. And sometimes they like hit the power line, and then there's a big cool explosion. So I looked it up. There are there's at least one big balloon disaster. The best one is when the Barney balloon get like cut on the side and just slowly deflated. It's amazing. It's so funny because I think everyone was fine, but the kids just got to watch Barney slowly die in front of them. I just think that's so funny. There's also one where the Kermit balloon crashed into some trees. It did not die, but its head totally deflated. So it looks like someone just like kind of stepped on him. I'll put that picture in the thing. It's pretty good. I want some fun trivia to share with family members. Like every so often, one of these balloons does something terrible. But the other one that I was looking for. So I guess there was a Cat in the Hat balloon that knocked the lamppost over, and that put a woman in a coma. So that one was already bad. And this was in 1997. Apparently, there was just like really bad winds. I think that's also when Barney went down. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right, how about this? This is from a CNN alert or CNN webpage. Okay. 1997. The 1997 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade was pretty much a disaster. During the parade, high winds caused the Cat in the Hat balloon to strike a lamppost, and part of the post came crashing down on the head of a bystander. The woman suffered serious injuries, was in a coma for a month. On high alert, police at the parade reined in, stabbed and stomped down the Barney and Pink Panther balloons to make sure they couldn't do any more damage. So that's wild. That they just were like, they killed Barney, like almost pre-crime. They were like, you're going to do some damage, Barney. To hell with you.
Listen, we all see the look in Barney's eyes. We know he's a killer at heart. We have to stop him before he strikes.
It is so weird that, like, Barney's a dinosaur, It's
well,
like
he's a dinosaur of our imagination.
That's true. And he's, like, got a dinosauriness to him. I feel like once you get into his family members, they get really dinosaur-y. But you could convince me that Barney's supposed to be like a dog.
Baby Bop?
Yeah. They have, like, specific dinosaurs that you're like, oh, that's a... I don't remember who's who, but someone's a Triceratops, I think.
I think that's Baby Bop.
And then the other one's probably like a Stegosaurus or something. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Maybe they're both Triceratopses because they are brother and sister. But yeah, so lots and lots of great balloons. None from this movie so far. It's shocking because it's the only one I would like. Why isn't there a big Stay Puft Marshmallow Man balloon?
Well, I guess they weren't confident, or the fact that Baby Yoda's only showing up now. Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade might be a little behind the curve. Maybe next year we'll get the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
right? They gotta get with it because, like, yeah, it's the thing that is the size of a big balloon that walks through, like New York City. It'd be so fun.
Or
they
maybe
could do the Statue of Liberty for the second one.
Maybe whoever's in charge of it is old enough that they were alive during the 80s when the movies came out, and someone's like, for our big parade with floats for children, how about a thing from Ghostbusters? And the person's like, you mean that movie where Dan Aykroyd gets sucked off by a ghost? That's not for children.
I really wish there's a point where Dan Aykroyd is part of this movie, and I wish that was what was happening right before he gets the phone call. You saw a second of him just like, leaning back in the chair. Oof. I got a phone call. Give me 10.
Or if just at one point somebody like Paul Rudd was like, hey, is it true you got sucked off by a ghost?
Yeah. Oh my God. Actually, I have another great idea. We'll bring it back later. But what was I going to say? There are actually evil balloons in the original Ghostbusters remake from 2016 too. Big evil balloon monsters. So.
Oh yeah, that does happen.
Yeah. They did it backwards. They did the wrong thing. Unless they were like, we're going to put our evil balloon monsters in. Everybody will love them so much, they'll want them in the parade float. Like, maybe they reverse engineered the product. Although apparently those are real, some of them at least, are real balloons, like kind of designs. So old school, like Macy's Thanksgiving Day fans might recognize them and be like, oh yeah, that guy. Great stuff. Speaking of great stuff, Diggins, we got to talk about Ghostbusters Afterlife 2021.
We do have to talk about that.
I'm only saying 2021 because that's just what I've been trained to do with Ghostbusters movies, but who knows? Maybe they'll remake this
with
in like
all
20
movies.
years.
Generally movies just decide that we're going to name ourselves after the same thing as the movie that came out 30 years ago, and you just have to deal with it.
Right? At least give us you have the decency to call yourself the Ghostbusters or something.
Just the Predators.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Predator. Oh man,
that
movie's
a new Predator,
so
by the way. Did you see that?
No, they are.
It's going straight to Hulu.
Wow.
But,
well,
yeah, I know. But it's it's made by someone who I feel like you'd see him and you go, oh yeah, it might be good. And it's about like it takes place 300 years ago. And it's about some sort of Cherokee something person being hunted by the Predator or something. Could be cool.
Well, listen, the last one was made by someone who I heard was making it, and I was like, oh, that could be good.
That's true.
That doesn't mean anything.
And I mean, this movie was made by someone who you'd be like, that guy probably knows how to do a Ghostbusters movie. And look what we got.
What else has he made? I know he's made other stuff.
He was one of their sons or something, right?
I know he's Ivan Reitman's son.
That's all I got.
We're talking about Jason Reitman.
Yeah, I don't know.
But now I'm just thinking about, like, he's done other stuff, and now I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, let's see. Jason Reitman.
He directed Juno.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, and Up in the Air. I remember that movie. And Thank You for Smoking. I like that movie. Great stuff. Great stuff. And this. He directed this. He wrote this.
Yep.
Great
He
stuff.
sure
Great
did.
Stuff. Diggins, we got to talk about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Let's do the IMDb game. We're going to do it just like last week.
IMDb, B as in spelling bee.
Exactly, yeah. And we're going to do it just like last week where we both just say one, and then we look at it afterwards and see who got closest.
And see if it's as wildly incorrect as last week's.
Last week it was really off. One of the worst I've ever seen. And it was very clear who won. So maybe there'll be a tie this week. Who knows?
Who knows?
Probably not,
Maybe we'll have to do a tiebreaker. Maybe we'll have to do 7 tiebreakers.
Hopefully. Where we all just guess things and then look it up and it's like, nope, that guy's not in it. I mean, there's a special guest in this movie that absolutely blew my mind. And not like a ghost blowing your mind in the figurative sense, not the literal sense. Diggins, you want to go first or second since you won last week?
You can go first this week.
Okay. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say a family uncovers a secret when they move to like sleepy Midwestern town, colon or like no, I guess. Okay, when a family moves to a sleepy Midwestern town after their grandpa died, the family learns that their relative may have been hunting and learning about ghosts, and then he was a Ghostbuster. I'll throw the word Ghostbuster in there. So that's what I got.
Okay. I'm going to take a different tack on this one. And I'm going to say that the summary arbitrarily picks one of the main characters to be the main character.
Probably smart.
A young girl must take up her grandfather's legacy when mysterious phenomenon in her new town threatens the entire world.
Ooh, this is tough because I did look it up when you started reading it.
I don't have it up. I gotta pull it up.
This might be as close to a tie as we've come.
Because we're both so wrong.
We both got some of it, and I don't think any of our specifics were too important.
Oh, I think you won. I
don't know. You said legacy.
I did say legacy. You said
yeah.
Ghostbuster.
I did say Ghostbusters,
you did it from the perspective of the family. I did it from the one kid. You drew attention to them arriving in the small town. You even got the format though. When they arrive in small town, they discover blank. I think
that was tough because I had to work. I started that doing it wrong, and then like the IMDb ghost possessed me, and then it gave me it was so clear what was happening that I had to do it that way. Speaking of that, when Dan Aykroyd got ghost pleasure, let's say. What was happening? Were his pants unzipped?
I mean, it's a ghost, right? So I imagine the ghost was just reaching through the pants.
I don't know, because I feel like the motion of what was happening needs to happen with open pants. Not, I guess needs to, but I would imagine it would.
Well, hold on. Let me see if I can find this scene on YouTube.
I've looked it up. I don't think you can. Not looked it up, but I've seen it recently. I don't think you have that information.
Well, let's see.
For people that don't know.
Bedroom scene.
Yeah.
Is the euphemism I'm able to find.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here we go. I've got it up.
It's the verdict.
Let's see. He's got his pants on definitely in this establishing shot before the ghost disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the ghost is undoing his belt. I think the pants do come off.
Okay, good.
No, the ghost is pulling his pants down.
And does the ghost pull his dick out too? Ooh.
I mean, not on screen.
Not on screen. And then here's my other question. Is the ghost invisible or visible? Because sometimes ghosts in this movie
starts visible, then turns invisible before it takes his pants off and sucks him off.
That's so weird for him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want it to be visible, I guess? Or maybe not. I don't know. Is this like a glory hole situation for him? Where he's like, I just don't want to see. I know it's a ghost, but if I could use my imagination, it's just a normal person.
I don't know. It's kind of in a montage scene, so we don't really get any dialogue from Dan Aykroyd to confirm how he feels about this ghostly BJ.
I love that shot. Just like, okay, so yeah, the movie, it's fine. I think it's fine. Since I'm gonna say things about it, and I really want to talk more about specifics because I do think there's some weird things to nitpick here. It's fine. I think I don't know. It's about as good as I think you could get for something like this. Like a soft reboot of the Ghostbusters franchise in this direction. I mean, it definitely goes overboard with some things, and I think the ending's a little bit too much for me in terms of fan service. But overall, when it wasn't that, I thought the movie was okay. And it was, honestly, when it wasn't that, I think the movie was pretty good. So there. I think it was I think all the stars were pretty good. Mostly everybody, really. I think Carrie Coons was good. Paul Rudd was good. The kid was very good. I feel like I've seen her in stuff. Was she the Mad Men kid?
No, she's not. She's not the Mad Men kid. That's
That's Sabrina.
Oh gosh, she is Sabrina. Yes.
Yeah, they look so similar. These two children. Like
she has done a lot of stuff though.
young Sheldon.
This kid. Yeah, like
Ooh.
young Sheldon.
She's the voice of a character named Bitsy Beagleberg on Mickey and His Roadster Racers. So she's probably worked with Sotto Voce from last week.
Oh,
who is Mickey?
Cool. She
Yeah.
is elementary school kid in Ready Player One.
Oh God, she's young Daphne in Scoop.
Scoop. She's young Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel.
Oh, and she's also young Itanya in Itanya. So
Listen, that's some range on a kid right there.
yeah, she's in The Handmaid's Tale, though I've never seen that, and I don't know how much she's in it. And she's in the Hill House show, which I also haven't seen. But yeah, she was good. She was very good. So yeah, she was good. The Stranger Things kid was fine. They're way too old now to do Stranger Things, right? Like, what's the next season?
Yeah.
He just looks like almost an adult. In the movie,
Yeah,
he
I feel-
passes for like 17.
Apparently he's 15, really, but I mean, like in the movie. I don't
In
know
the
about
movie,
the actual
yeah.
kid.
He does not look
The
like
actual
a kid.
kid's probably like 20.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the movie was okay. What did you think, Diggins?
He is 18.
I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna say something. Oh man,
you were
my
gonna
calendar is wrong.
You were gonna say some Drake shit.
Yeah. Which Drake are we talking here? Drake and Josh or the other?
Yeah, I guess actually it could be either one.
Yeah. Oh man, watch out for Drakes, everybody. But no, yeah. So what did you think of this movie, Diggins?
I think for a movie that is actually incredibly different from every other Ghostbusters movie, it has a depressing lack of imagination. It is so propped up by nostalgia. Like it's not too bad at first, or at least like the first half of the movie, it like annoyed me, but I was like, all right, but let's see where this is going, because there is other stuff here. By the end of the movie, it's just like a remember Ghostbusters fest.
Yeah.
There's nothing happening that's not just, hey guys, do you remember when that happened in Ghostbusters? That was pretty cool, right? You guys like Ghostbusters?
Yeah, it really goes for it.
And it's just like, man, maybe it's just me, but I just find that so not interesting. Just like I really disliked this movie just because it is so it is as if a ghost who has come upon Dan Aykroyd in this scenario representing the original Ghostbusters in a bed and has decided to just pleasure it as manfully as possible.
Oh man.
It's and like
Yeah.
I think Paul Rudd is pretty funny. I think he's Paul Rudd, you know, he's the world's sexiest man. He's
Apparently
charismatic. He has the charisma to pull off the jokes for the most part. I think the kid, Phoebe is the character name, is like, I think she's doing a great job of doing whatever like the script and the director are telling her to do. I think that character didn't work for me at all, but that's not her fault. Everyone else is mostly just kind of there. They're not offensive, but like they just exist.
about Carrie Coon, she's drunk. That's pretty fun. I like that. Like, she's just an alcoholic. It's not really dealt with in the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
She's just like, we kind of figure it's because your dad like left her and stuff, but it's not like I was kind of expecting, and I'm a little glad they didn't do it, but I was expecting a bit where she like, you know, throws away a bottle of whiskey before doing something heroic, but instead she's just like, nah, this is unrelated from the dad stuff. I'm just big on alcohol. Solve my problems.
Man, We'll talk about the dad stuff. I have feelings about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I didn't like it. I didn't like it because it is just, it doesn't have an original thought in its head. It's just doing Ghostbusters. You know, it's weird because it is being a very different movie. It is being like a Spielbergian Stranger Things kind of kid adventure movie, right? But then every aspect of its plot and so many of its jokes and so many things that happen are just things from Ghostbusters 1. And the joke is, remember the thing from Ghostbusters 1? And so it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why this got made. I don't know why this is like this. I don't know what about it is entertaining for people.
You know what? I was going to save this for later because there's a specific bit that this happened in. I was really surprised. So, real quick, where did you see this movie, Diggins? What was your theater experience like?
I saw it in an afternoon screening, so mostly empty.
Same, but there were people. First of all, some 3 kids, or by kids, they're probably like adults. They're kids to me. Everyone is a child, somebody's kid. Let's say they're in their mid-20s. We're in my movie theater making an insane amount of noise in the credit or in the previews, and I'm like, all right, well, you never know. And then the movie starts, make a ton of noise. Everybody in the movie theater, and maybe there were like 15 of us besides them, were like, shush, shut up. And then they just like left. And I think what happened was these kids were early to a movie that was not this one, and just decided to sit and watch the parts of this movie before their movie started, because they never came back. And they seemed to enjoy the movie from their, live review. It was fascinating. I didn't know people did this. And there's no way that they thought they were in a different movie. So that was part of my theater experience. But the other thing is that I thought was so interesting, fair amount of kids at my movie. At one point, a character, what did you say her name was? The girl? Phoebe. Phoebe discovers, a bunch of stuff. And to get to that stuff, she goes down a fire pole. That doesn't make any sense because it's in a barn, but it's there. And I swear, this kid who must have been 7 said like, oh, a fire pole, like from the first movie in their apartment. And I was like, really? Do 7-year-olds know this? Like, when we were kids, I feel like we did watch Ghostbusters, like get Ghostbusters stuff, mostly for me because of that cartoon that was also Ghostbusters.
This was the period where like every single thing got a child's cartoon, no matter how inappropriate. And so we did have the Ghostbusters cartoon, and so I do remember it, like, by the time we were kids, it was considered kind of like a kid's thing.
Yeah. Why? But what's the story with these kids? Do you think kids were like, I liked this kid from Stranger Things and Paul Rudd from the Ant-Mans and Carrie Coons from the Infinity Wars or whatever. I want to see this movie, and the parents were like, okay, but you got to watch this other movie where the ghost blows the guy from Saturday Night Live or whatever.
Yeah, what do you think the kid, did the kid turn to his parents in that scene and was like, Mommy, Daddy, what's that ghost doing to Dan Aykroyd?
See, I wonder, but I definitely saw the movie at that age, and it went right over my head. So I couldn't even, I don't know what happened with them. But like, I was figured when I saw the trailer for this movie, like, okay, this is a movie about kids because that's like what's in now. But this movie is for adults that are in their 30s and 40s and 50s that either grew up with Ghostbusters, the movie, or the cartoon or whatever. And I still think that's true, but I was really surprised by how many kids were in my theater and how much they all seemed to be into it and aware of the rest of the Ghostbuster stuff. Like the kids, one kid was like, yay, when a certain character showed up. It blew my mind. I don't know. Fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I guess these kids, their parents showed them Ghostbusters or something. I can't imagine it's like playing all the time on Nick Jr. or something.
Right?
But I mean, that's part of what my confusion was, and I guess there is this constituency of children who have watched the Ghostbusters, but it's like, this is a kids movie. This is like a kids adventure movie. like I said, like the old Spielberg movies. And not to say an adult couldn't enjoy it, but that's who it's aimed at, which is fine. But then it has like this complete reverence and constant reference for this, at this point, almost 40-year-old movie about a bunch of adult comedians goofing around and getting sucked off by ghosts.
That's pretty good. I like that.
So, like, what? Who is this for?
I couldn't tell you. It really... I was so interested in that, though. That kid's reaction to the fireball was like... Because I remember when I saw it, for a second, my thought was like, Jesus, what? Like, why is this here? And then the kid reacted, and I was like, I guess this is what this... I don't know. Maybe this is what they wanted. It's really, really,
definitely,
really
definitely they had the fire pole because they were in the firehouse in the first movie, and so they... Yeah, like, that's what it's for, even though you're right, it makes no sense. It's not like the character who built that place had some kind of ideological commitment to fire poles.
It seems a fire pole.
It was a fire pole because the thing they bought was a firehouse because they couldn't afford anything better.
Yeah. That was... Oh, man, yeah. The kid, you know what else happened at one point? The, Paul Rudd, who was a science teacher, was like, let's fuck around with this ghost trap. I know what it is, but I still want to. And he starts tapping at it or something, and it's very clear to you, an audience member, that it's going to open up and explode and stuff. And the little kid was like, no! Like, he was so into it. I don't know. Maybe the kids love Garfield and they wanted a Bill Murray. Maybe that was the inroad. It's not even like... It's not like one of them is like... I don't know what Ernie Hudson's up to. Maybe he's the main character on Paw Patrol or something. Like, I just don't know what the access point is for these children, besides their parents being like, this is kind of about ghosts. You watched, you're eating that Frankenberry and the Boo Berry and stuff. You'll love it. I don't know. But really, really weird. Also, speaking of kids, what trailers did you see with this movie? Did you get there in time for trailers?
Yes, I saw all the trailers before this movie. So I finally saw the Spider-Man trailer because that was before this.
Oh, yeah, that was before this. That also got a huge reaction from my theater. And not like at any point specifically. Just like when it happened, a girl screamed. Like when it started, they were like, oh my God, I get to watch the Spider-Man. What's going on with these kids? I don't know.
I think I may have been. I mean, I think today's a school day, so I might have just been too early. There were no kids in my theater, so I wasn't getting these raw child reactions.
That makes sense. I wonder if kids. When do kids? I guess they don't get off till tomorrow, probably for Thanksgiving. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just had some very, very delinquent children. But did you get something that was not a trailer but a commercial? In your,
I think I tried to tell you about this the other day, Nando, and I got interrupted. Are you talking about a commercial that features one Matt Damon?
Yes! Oh my God, I'm so sorry I interrupted you. Please describe this wonderful commercial to the people. This is the first time I've seen it, or at least remembered it.
I was telling you this off mic. This is when
we
were in person. So, so this is a commercial in the middle of the trailers. Like, you dear listener, you know that there's the commercial section of the movies, and then like you get to the movie time start, and then there's the 20 minutes of trailer. This is a commercial that's in the trailers for some godforsaken reason.
Yeah. Bizarre.
And Matt Damon shows up in like this pristine, like very modern kind of museum where there's a bunch of displays about like the moon landing and other like famous invention stuff or science things or whatever, and he's just walking through this very dramatically, talking about innovation as the lifeblood of the human race, and it's so important that we keep making new stuff, and science happens, and all the good things that come from people being smart and making new things, etc., etc., etc. He does that for like a solid minute.
Before we say it, I want every listener at home to have a second and guess to themselves what they think it's a commercial for. Okay, now your second is up. I hope you enjoyed your second. All right, Diggins.
All right.
What
And
does what is revealed?
I don't remember if Matt Damon himself ever says it. So they might have tricked
not.
Matt Damon. I think they might have tricked Matt Damon.
I also think that.
Because he just keeps talking about innovation, then he like turns to the camera and says some dramatic finishing statement about like, and that's why innovation is cool and good.
He
and
uses
then
the phrase, and this really bugged me, fortune favors the brave.
That was
that's
it.
not
Yes.
the phrase, right? It's fortune
It's not the
favors
phrase.
the bold.
Correct.
But anyway, that's what he says. Yeah, that's the closing line. Before
A logo appears in like the space field that the camera like pans off into, and that logo being crypto.com.
I couldn't believe it. I feel like we talked about this with friends off mic, or like off, in real life, where someone had a story where they were like, someone just talked to me about crypto.com, and I was like, listen, I got nothing against crypto, but crypto.
I do. I have lots of things against
there's
crypto.
There's plenty to have against crypto. But the idea specifically of crypto.com being the website that's used for crypto seems like something your grandmother would say. Like, it shocks me that is the website for crypto. What the heck? It's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, how was that not already taken? How was that not taken years ago?
Right?
Unless these people have...
Crypto... There's all kinds of stuff.
Crypto-fascism.
Crypto keeper. Man.
Unless these people have just been sitting on it for years waiting for their moment, waiting until they could trick Matt Damon.
I mean, the crypto.com people also bought the naming rights to the Staples Center this week. So it is now the crypto.com arena. So, like, I don't know, man. I can't imagine how they're making all this money. It's so unclear, but whatever it is, they're making money. It's wild. Which, like, it's funny, because who gives a shit about the Staples Center? As, like, oh, you kids remember Staples, from history. Like, we all love Staples. But the idea that it is replaced with crypto.com, like a website, is so weird to me.
And what even is I guess it's just like a platform for trading cryptocurrencies that sports a bunch of different cryptocurrencies, I guess.
Yeah, I know there's apps that are that though. Like, so if part of me does think that crypto.com, whatever it is designed for people who don't really know too much about it and are like, it's like, they're like, oh, I heard about this crypto in the news, and then they go to crypto.com and then they buy like a Bitcoin for way too much money or something. I mean, yeah, it's insane, but it is real. Apparently, Matt Damon and the LA Lakers and everybody. Soon, this podcast will be sponsored by crypto.com.
No, I will quit.
We won't find out until after we did our ad read about cars and spaceships and stuff.
If this podcast starts and I've been replaced with like Crypto Jim, then you know that it's happened.
You think there's going to be a joke in that movie with Crypto the Superdog about cryptocurrency?
Oh God, I hope not.
You saw the trailer for that too, right? Because I got that one.
Yeah. So I have a friend who was going on about this before. There are so many weird superpowered animals in the DC universe. Why did they just make up a bunch?
Right? And why is Ace the Bat Hound not Ace the Bat Hound? He's still Ace, but he's just some dog. I also don't get it. I don't know. I don't know where they're going for with this crypto movie. It looks kind of funny. The bit where the dog is wearing the glasses and pretending to be a normal dog is great. But like, yeah, why? There's like a turtle has super speed, and like the Flash has a turtle sometimes. But, like, yeah, why isn't that the thing that this is? I don't think there's a pig that could turn giant in the comics, but I don't know, maybe.
The weirdest one is there is a Green Lantern squirrel named Chip.
Oh, yeah.
But he's just like an alien who looks like a squirrel and is a Green Lantern, not a literal actual squirrel who has lightning powers. So why? For what reason?
Yeah, that's a good question. And he also... And, like, Yeah, I feel like when you get to the DC pets, it's like there's Chip, which is an alien, but is kind of, it could be a pet if it wants to be. The one that, then Ace the Bat Hound, Crypto the Super Dog, sometimes the turtle. There was a cartoon with a cat. Do you remember this? It's like a Super Pets cartoon where there was a cat with like super speed. And I want to say its name might have been Streaky or something.
I remember the cartoon existing. I don't really remember anything about it.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. But then the other one that I think is the one that I was kind of excited for when I heard they were making this is Wonder Woman has a kangaroo. And her like whole thing, apparently, like the Amazons at one point in the comics are invaded by aliens that have kangaroos, and they just leave a bunch there. So a lot of the Amazon women just ride kangaroos. And I was like, man, that's going to be fun. And it's not in it. Also, there's no fish. I guess there's a turtle, but like, where's Aquaman? He should definitely have a pet.
And where's that horse that belongs to Supergirl that one day a year turns into a human man who's in love with her?
Yeah. That's a great... I forgot about the horse. You're right. Yeah, what are we doing here? What's going on? Also, why is The Rock in this? Why? Yeah. He's already... Black Adam. What happens when Black Adam has to fight the super pets? That'll be awkward.
Yeah, because that crossover is definitely coming, right? I mean, come on.
I mean, they're both going to be the highest grossing ones ever because they both have The Rock in them. So, like, yeah, those trades are going to collide. I like the bit where the dog raps about Rise and Grind. Did you get that trailer where he just does like a twin rap about we rises and grinds, baby?
Excuse me.
I've seen a lot of clips of that rap The Rock made this week. Where he's like talking about rising and grinding or whatever.
Oh no!
It's so embarrassing.
Does The Rock have a Sigma grind set?
Oh my God, he has a Mega Sigma grind set. If there was a specific Sigma, it would be him.
Is Rock the Sigma male?
Yeah, he might be. I mean, is there something above Sigma?
Well, no. Sigma is the new. Instead of being an alpha, you should be a Sigma. It's the thing among people who say things like alpha.
Then The Rock is definitely that, plus all the good things people like about Sigma too, or alpha as well. Like he's just everything that's plus all the nice things about beta males and stuff. He's just terrific, and he's a dog now. And Jim is the Superman of this universe. Listen, I we'll talk about this movie eventually. Ghostbusters. But before that, yeah, these trailers, man. How about the one where Bono is like a monkey or something? The Sing 2?
I think Bono's the lion.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense.
He's Banalian, but Lion-O. He's Lion-O.
He's Lion-O, yeah. Did you watch the first Sing? Did we talk about this?
No. Every time it comes up, DJ's like, I think the first Sing is good. And you and I are like, I've never seen it.
Okay, yeah. This one, I feel like I knew what these were, where it was like a singing talent show, but this new trailer for it really suggests that they're like in some sort of play or something, where they do stick fighting and stage diving and stuff.
This is the trailer I was telling you about before, where it's like we just go through the climactic moment of catharsis for every single character.
Yeah.
Like the thing that happens at the end of the movie where their character arc finishes. And it's like, what... I mean, I try not to harp on trailers too much because I don't think they should affect them. I don't think it should affect your enjoyment of the movie, but like, this feels like I'm literally seeing every major like climax of every character arc. Why would I even watch the movie at this point?
And it's weird because this movie is like a jukebox musical movie thing, I guess. So it's like, you don't really need to watch the movie. Or you could just advertise the songs and then the kids will come to it and be like, and the pig is in it. But yeah, they show all the end of the movies bits where they all overcome their fears. Real weird.
That's the thing. It's like, it's Scarlett Johansson Hedgehog is like coming out on the stage and it's like this big dramatic moment where she's like singing a sad song to the audience to like express her sadness or whatever, or try to convince the guy to try to convince Lion-O to come on stage. And what she's singing is a sad cover of I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. And it's like, I can't take this seriously. I just can't.
Yeah. Do you think Bono was like, listen, if I'm going to be in it, this has to be the main song from it. And that has to be in every trailer. And also, I get to be a lion. And they were like, whatever you want, Mr. Bono, for sure. Or no?
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
who knows? Has Bono ever been in an animated movie before? That he might have had high demands.
Yeah, I don't think he has. I feel like that as a big U2 fan, I should know this, but I don't think Bono shows up in too many movies. He doesn't act as much as you would expect from someone like him. I feel like a lot of the actors, like your Keith Richardses and stuff, they'll show up, they'll pop into a thing, Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever. That I don't think he does that much. He's great though, so it's okay. What'd you think of the movie? That was pretty good. This one, you liked it, huh? Because it had the Ghostbusters. It had all your favorite things: fire pole, crunch bar, Twinkies, a coin. Apparently, so important of a coin that they had to show it to us again.
Oh man,
Great stuff.
Yeah, I didn't like this movie at all, as I said previously. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the movie.
Let's talk about it. Who is your favorite? You said your favorite was probably Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd is the one who made me laugh.
I
don't mean like the most or like was the best at it. I mean he was the one who made me laugh.
I liked him as like the spiritual successor to the Ghostbusters because he's a screw up, kind of. Like I like that the Ghostbusters in their original movies all kind of suck. And I like that he just, he's not a very good teacher. He constantly endangers his little kids. I like that about him. Showing him Cujo.
So, here's a question. What's he doing besides hitting on their mom? Like, what does he imagine he's accomplishing?
Seismic adventures or something. He's like solving the mystery of the earthquakes.
Did he come here to investigate that? Does he just live here and thinks it's weird? Like, what's his deal?
I think he came here to investigate it. He doesn't seem to be from here. Or like, I don't know. He has to introduce himself to the kids, right?
Yeah, but I mean, how often do kids see the summer school teacher?
That's true. I figure isn't the summer school... I guess, yeah. I guess summer school teacher. I don't know too much about summer school.
I don't know. I haven't been inside a school since I graduated.
That's true. Good for you. That's how it's supposed to be. I'm betting he does... I bet he did go there for this. To do earthquake discoveries. Feels about right.
I guess. So does he like have a job as a seismologist? Is he a hobbyist seismologist? Like, where did he get all this equipment?
Doesn't he? He has a seismology degree, right, or something like that.
I guess. I mean, he seems to be an actual seismologist. He has the equipment. He has the knowledge. Like he actually does. He's not just like some dude, but at the same time, he's working at a summer school, showing movies to delinquent children, and just like hobby seismologying in his spare time. So like, I don't think he's employed as a seismologist. Like what's his deal? Why is he doing this? Just because he thinks it's neat?
Good question. I don't know. I think he knows something's up. But
he's saying like this is weird. Like this doesn't look like any other kind of earthquake. But
like
what is he hoping to accomplish?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Find the ghosts that are in there and then kill them.
Can you kill a ghost?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll get to it. I feel like this movie really breaks open the whole what are ghosts in this universe question in a way that I don't understand. What do you think, Diggins, what did you think of the whole beginning part where they show us all the stuff with the guy who may or may not be Egon? Who knows? He's mostly in shadow.
The guy who may be Egon, but we can't show him too clearly because Harold Ramis is dead.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, it was fine, I guess. It's like, it feels weird that this is what a Ghostbuster man is doing, but I mean, as the opening to a movie, like, all right, sure, I guess you're establishing that there's something freaky going on. There's something strange in this
strange.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
I got there. Don't worry.
I was going to say. Well, I guess we haven't talked about this either. Speaking of the original one, where do you fall in the first Ghostbusters movies? I'd say the first two.
Well, there's the 2, and then there's 2016. There's never any more than that.
So, yeah, the
They're
original,
fine.
the 80s ones.
They're decently funny. You know, I enjoy the kind of mixture of Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray's comedic sensibilities. That, you know, where it has this kind of very snarky, kind of deadpan humor from him, but also this sort of wacky, off the wall stuff from Dan Aykroyd. They're not. I don't think they're like incredible. I think their cultural reputation is a little weird to me because I don't think they're that good, but they're fun. I enjoy watching them. You know, they're good movies.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're fine. Yeah. But at the same time, I think they're the holy movies, and if you change anything from them and don't include all of their things, then why even bother?
And don't you dare cast a woman.
Yeah. Here's a question. What do you think? Oh, this is such a hard one. Did you enjoy watching this movie more than the other one, the other remake one? Because there's such different shots at the remaking Ghostbusters question. It's just like, it's so fascinating that both of them exist. You know?
Yeah. It's like, so the 2016 one is just trying to be another Ghostbusters movie, but at the same time is not like married to the idea of the first one and is like doing kind of just doing its own spin on the basic premise, while also being like there's the same format of like this is a comedy with like very light action bits about dealing with the supernatural,
right?
Or whatever. Whereas this one is like stylistically very different, but also just like I said, like that ghost to Dan Aykroyd, just the lips are surgically attached.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I feel like.
So
it's
I guess
so weird.
To actually answer your question, for me, I think overall I prefer that first one, the 2016 one. I don't think it turned out that great, to be honest. I mean, obviously, you know, they cast the women, which was a terrible mistake.
And we come here for honesty, you know, that's what the people want.
But no, it's I got a sensible chuckle out of that movie, but it's not that great. I don't think it's that funny, and it's as far as like construction of it goes, it's kind of a mess, but I don't know. I think overall I appreciate it more for being more of its own thing than this one is. Again, even though it's so stylistically different, but they're so married to the idea of the first one that it ends up feeling more like a retread than that one.
Yeah, that's the tough part. It's like this one, I feel like the last one, this one is definitely not trying as much to be a comedy, which is at the heart of the original Ghostbusters. So, like, when you compare them, I'm kind of like, I think I like this one more as just a movie. I don't know. I don't think, for me, the problem with the 2016 one is I just don't think it was very funny. Or, like, a lot of the humor didn't work for me. But,
yeah.
And this one had, like, some humor, but not really that much. It was a lot of, like, other stuff. A lot of people being around and, like, being sad. And there was some humor. I guess, like, the Paul Ruddy kind of humor. And then there was, like, that, I'm tired of this, like, bad jokes are funny in a movie thing. I just don't. It never works for me. So, like, yeah, it's funny. Because this Ghostbusters movie was not trying to be a comedy, which is the only thing that I think is, like, really interesting or consistent about, like, the first two movies, because it wasn't trying to do that and failing like the 2016 one was. For me, I think I like this one more, but it wasn't funny. But it was funny-ish. I don't know. It is weird. I mean, it was very Stranger Things. Like, it's so that more movies should be Stranger Things, you know?
Should they?
No, no.
Should
Maybe.
they?
No.
I don't
like
even
the
like
part
Stranger
where they
Things
drove
that
around
much.
and shot lasers. Yeah, you know what? Me neither. I don't really like Stranger Things that much either. First season was fun. It was kind of different, so it was popular. But yeah, I don't think I like it that much either. Take it or leave it. Getting a new one, though. They're gonna make more.
Are they doing a new season of that? Because these kids are not kids anymore.
I don't know.
They're just not.
They put out trailers, and it's weird too, because the Stranger Things mythos and story has gotten so like obsessed with its own continuity that it's really hard to let. I feel like it's gonna be tough to do something new with that show besides just like you grew up, you're in high school now, and that monster from last one still running after us or something.
Oh, are we talking about Stranger Things or are we talking about this movie? Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Hey. Oh.
Let's talk about this movie. So, first of all, the mom is like, does it go to, does it pay her bills and stuff? Drinks a lot. Love that. Fun.
I love that for her, yeah.
Yeah, Carrie Coon, very good. One
I like
from
Carrie
Proxima
Coon.
Midnight. Yeah, me too. Besides this and Mindhunters, what else is she known for?
She was in a season of Fargo. That's what I know her from.
Oh, which one?
I think it's the third one.
Okay. Oh, yeah, and she was in Gone Girl. Oh, right, Leftovers. That's what she's probably most known for.
Oh, yeah, definitely Leftovers.
Yeah.
I need to watch Leftovers. I keep meaning to.
It's tough.
I mean, I know it's like weird, but I think that's why I'll like it.
You probably will. I find it, and I have the same problem with Succession sometimes. I just feel bad after watching it. Like, every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, man, these guys suck. And I'm like, I feel bad about the human race and stuff. But it's,
Oh, man, there's nothing I love more than feeling bad, so.
Yeah, you're going to love it. The Carrie Coon in this, great. The little kid, played by I, Tanya and stuff, is a child who, I don't know, what's the deal with that kid? Is it ever made explicit?
They never say anything. I feel like there's pretty strong hints that she might have autism.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Just because the way she talks about, like, how she doesn't express emotions the way other people do, and what she says about, what the mom says about her with connecting with people and stuff. It feels like they're going for that, which, honestly, as these things go, it's not as straight up offensive as the depiction in The Predator.
I was going to say, yeah, another great movie with autism. I mean, that movie probably has the worst depiction of any, like, that is just absolutely terrible. He is the greatest human. The predators need him to learn our ways and become expert.
He's the next step of human evolution. Like, all right.
Damn. That movie's awesome. Yeah, I feel like there's that one bit where, I forgot again, Phoebe, like, there's two bits where she does seem to, like, almost, like, read a list of symptoms of, autism, where she's like, I get overstimulated by this or something. And I was like,
I enjoy being overstimulated, or when she's like,
I think I know what that is.
When the kid whose name I refuse to say, because
we're going to say it a lot. We're going to get to
fuck this movie for saying that.
We probably already said it a couple times, technically. I definitely said it at least once.
He says when, like, it's clear that Paul Rudd wants to go to Pound Town with her mom. Yeah. She's like, you have no reaction to that? And she's like, I just don't express my emotions the way other people do.
That's right.
It's like, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, again, as far as these things go, as far as this depictions of people with, let's say, higher functioning autism go, it's not the most offensive one I've seen in a movie like this.
Yeah, it seems fine. It seems like one step away from, like, your, what's that one? The Eddie Redmayne one. What's that movie? Fantastic
gosh.
Beasts, where like afterwards he's like, my character had autism, by the way, and
Wait,
you're like,
has he really
if
said
you
that?
say so. So he says, I believe, that he played it as if he did or something like that. Like, so yeah, it's not explicit, but I think it was something like, if you think he does, hey, might, I don't know. So it was a little bit better than that, I guess, at committing to anything. Yeah. So, and then Stranger Things kid, his deal is he's a boy.
His deal is he's a teenage boy.
Yeah.
And there's a girl he thinks is cute. And that's about as far as that plot line gets.
And it's, it works for him, so great. He's just like kind of, I don't know, kind of annoying. I don't really like him.
Yeah, no. I love the girl, by the way, the girl that he has the crush on, because the movie cares so little about her, but like feels obligated to include her for no reason.
Yeah.
It's
that was weird.
It gets to the point where at the end they all get the Ghostbusters jumpsuits and they've like written their name tags on it to be like, this is Gus instead of the original guys. And she doesn't even have one of those. She has the jumpsuit, but she doesn't get a name tag.
Yeah, it's almost like it kind of almost felt like on purpose when at a certain critical point near the end she like appears out of nowhere and it's like, haha, I'm here. It's part of it. But then I'm also like, I could have just forgotten she was part of it at all. If she never showed up again for the rest of the movie, I don't think I'd remember.
I was actually thinking
she was fine.
No, the actor is fine and like the character is fine, like in a vacuum. But like like I was saying, the movie cares so little about her. She does nothing. She just is along for two of the adventures inexplicably. Like, there is no scene where she joins up or even shows an interest in joining up. She's just there.
Yeah. And it's weird because she has a pretty easy in to be part of the plot, like the big plot, if she wanted to.
Yeah, doesn't come up again after the scene where it's established. Never matters again.
Yeah, that part was real strange. Yeah.
I feel like this is a movie that underwent like a ton of rewrites and didn't have anybody to go through and make sure everything made sense after the rewrites were done,
Yeah, I think that's possible. And
because even just like in the, like, this is a thing that happens early on. Just like in the scene, sometimes the movie just kind of weirdly contradicts itself in ways where
give me an
it's
example.
Like when they first get to the house that maybe it's Egon. Oh, I don't know. Leaves the house to the mom, who's his daughter. And so she goes to, at first she's going to sell it, but she's being evicted. So she's like, I guess we're living here. And like, she says that to the kids while they're in the house. She's like, yeah, well, we got evicted, so we don't have anywhere to go back to. So we're staying here for a while in this house. And then, Janine, again, inexplicably shows up and is like, I'm your father's manager. And she's telling her, like, wait, what do you mean he doesn't have anything? I just came here to cash a check and then go back home. And it's like, no, you didn't. You literally just said that you were going to stay because you don't have a home to go back to. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I couldn't figure that out if she was, like, lying about that or just, yeah, I also can't quite figure that out.
Again, it feels to me like they changed what it was at one point, and they just never went back and tightened up the dialogue to reflect that change,
Maybe she was just so drunk she forgot,
Or that's also possible. I mean, that is when they have just finished driving all the way to Oklahoma, so I should hope she wasn't drinking then, but...
Yeah. Where is she from, by the way? Is that character start in New York?
I don't think they ever tell us, but I imagine it's probably New York. I mean, that's where Egon lived, right?
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
Not that we know whether her dad is Egon or not. Oh.
Yeah, I wonder, is that something that anybody watching this movie would not know? Like, do you think there was anybody in that theater that wasn't like, her dad's the dead one, the Ghostbusters that are just dead in real life?
I mean, maybe like the children who don't have the ability to think yet.
Like babies. I think babies might be able to put it together.
You think if I brought my 1-year-old niece to this movie, she would be like, "Oh, it's the daughter. She's the daughter of the other Ghostbuster." Her first words.
Spangler. That's her last name, probably. So yeah, they go in this town, and it's like, oh boy, they don't fit in.
Well, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of that, but not really.
There's a little bit of like, hey man, this town sucks. I guess it's not as much we don't fit in as like the Stranger Things kid is like, I don't like it here because it's different from where I lived, wherever that was. But also, I'm pretty much committed to getting a job immediately and stuff, so it's fine. Well,
I don't think he cares about the job. It's just he sees one cute girl and is like, never mind, my life is about this now. And you know what? As someone who was once a teenage boy, relatable.
Yeah, I buy it. I feel like he got real lucky with it. It worked. Like
it's funny because that's her name. Not that you knew that because I didn't. I had to look it up.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, her name's Lucky.
Oh.
I'm not sure anyone ever uses it in the entire movie, but that is her name.
Good for them that this character has a name. Because otherwise she would just be waitress or roller skating girl or whatever, or fourth Ghostbuster. I mean, to be fair, I don't remember the boy's name either. It's really just the two younger children who have perfect names.
One of them has a perfectly fine name.
Well, one of them is the best name. What is the boy Stranger Things' name? His character is Trevor. Okay.
Trevor. Yeah. Yes, that's it.
Could guess.
They do say it, unlike the girl's name, which I'm convinced they never say.
But then we meet, so we go to school, and the kids meet all the people.
We go to school, even though the movie has explicitly identified this as summer, and then she says it's summer school, but why is this super smart kid going to summer school? And also, they just moved here, so, like, I don't think you need to go to summer school when you first, get, whatever, like, when you first move to a new district, because you don't have a record yet.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's pretty weird because it is definitely just this like, well, Paul Rudd's a teacher, so she has to meet him at school. But also, the boy has to have a job during the day. Under what conditions does that make any sense? I guess if one of them has to go to school and the other doesn't for summer school purposes. But it also seems like this kid, like, the mom is like, oh, she doesn't make friends that well. It seems like a lot to throw at little Phoebe. Figure you'd want to give her, a little time to adjust before you make her go to school.
Also, does the mom just, like, not work? Does she not have a job?
She's working on that bottle of wine, I think. I don't know. I think her job seems to be fix up the house and also, I guess, maybe sell it afterwards, even though it's not valuable or, it's not good. It's not a valuable part of land or anything.
I mean, sure, like right now, I mean, even if she had a job, you probably, you take a little time off and you go fix up the house that your dad left you. That's a perfectly normal thing for a person to do. But, like, there's never any talk about it. I guess it's not important. So, like, I'm not saying it's a huge problem with the movie, but, like, what does she do?
Yeah, and also, like, it's so weird because this movie exists in the Ghostbusters world, right? Where, like, Ghostbusters 1 and 2 happened. At least Ghostbusters 1. Maybe not 2.
Yeah, because they never reference 2 at all, even though 2, arguably, the more insane thing happened.
Yeah, 2, I feel like, would be the event. 1 would be kind of a thing that maybe happened, and it's like, oh, yeah, there was... I mean, like, you couldn't really ignore 1 because of all the small things that happened, but also the Marshmallow Man. But, like, with the Statue of Liberty in 2, it's like, that's what they would be known for.
And this is the insane thing about the Ghostbusters universe to me. Because they do this every movie. And I mean, 2016, maybe, like, I don't think exists in the same continuity, so I can let it slide with that one. But the rest of them, it's like every time it's like, oh yeah, there were all those ghosts before, but ghosts probably aren't real. And also, this has knowing that the afterlife is explicitly real has changed nothing about our lives or outlooks. And people don't even talk about it anymore.
Yeah, it is so weird. And I feel like in the beginning of these, like when I'm trying to remember. So I think if I'd just seen Ghostbusters 1 and 2, you could convince me, I guess, like, that ghosts are like closer to demons that are summoned with magic and stuff or whatever. And like Viggo the Carpathian and Gozer and stuff, those are all like more, you know, like evil spells and stuff, or demons or whatever. But then, like, when you start getting into this one and it's like, I don't know, man, I think some of those are people. Like, they would have to fundamentally alter something. There'd be religions based around the Ghostbusters? Probably. But no, it's treated like they are the movies of Ghostbusters. Like, Paul Rudd is a collector of Ghostbusters memorabilia, or is at least interested in it. But not because it can trap ghosts, because he saw them on TV.
Yeah. It would be like if, oh God, I'm trying to think of like what would be so monumental. It'd be like if cars were invented, right? And then instead of like everyone driving cars now, we just still did horses and buggies. And every once in a while, someone was like, "Hey man, you ever hear about these car things that someone invented a few decades ago?" And the other person's like, "Oh yeah, they're like way faster and more efficient than horses and would like revolutionize travel. Yeah, I remember those, but you know, fuck it. You know, whatever. Who gives a shit?"
Yeah. And also like, yeah, I feel like, gosh. Well, okay, so the Ghostbusters happened, and everyone knew about them. And then the ghost busting business kind of pittered out, which sure, because, you know, in the first movie, is it because of Gozer, or are the ghosts that they're busting like Slimer just also, you know, happening at the same time coincidentally?
I think, I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've seen the first Ghostbusters. I think ghosts are a naturally occurring phenomenon. However, New York in particular at that point in time is a potent conduit for them because of the building Ivo Shandor built, which is like a ghost well that he built to power the return of Gozer.
Right.
So it's like kind of related.
That makes sense. It's weird to me, I guess, then, because it's like, I guess they're like, because this movie also ties in like other mysticism to the ghosts in Ghostbusters. So the idea that the Ghostbusters of New York City might have trouble finding work, like, sure. But I just feel like we have real ghost hunters in the real world that don't hunt real ghosts. That people pay to, like, do shit. I feel like it would be impossible for the Ghostbusters that actually busted ghosts to ever run out of money. Like, just fucking go to the Vatican or whatever and, you know, shoot ghosts there. They believe in ghosts. Do exorcisms. I don't know.
And even if like the actual ghosts dry up and there's not enough work anymore, you could, like, you're the dudes who just caught real ghosts and proved the afterlife is real. Like, go give a talk. I'm sure there are people who would have you.
Write a book. They have like real estate on, like, I don't know, where is that? It's in like Soho, that fire station, right? It's like a corner by the World Trade Center. Actually, it's really close to there. Sell that. That's got to be worth something. What are they doing? Are they the worst business people in the history of film? I think so.
I mean, there's that, and then also, well, except for Ernie Hudson, who's apparently one of the best. That's true. According to that post-credit scene. He probably got it on that
crypto Matt Damon was talking about earlier.
I honestly, I was like on pins and needles, like, is he about to start talking about cryptocurrency?
NFTs and stuff, yeah.
Oh, man.
Next time.
I mean, the problem is just that the people of the Ghostbusters universe are, like, psychotically uninterested in ghosts, even though they know they're real.
Yeah. It's made much worse by this movie, I do think. Although I think the the 2016 Ghostbusters had a similar problem where the ghosts were too humanoid and stuff. Like, you get there's a ghost in the beginning of the first movie, I believe, that is a person, kind of. You know what I'm talking about?
Well,
the first one they meet
in the first movie. Yeah. A lot of the ghosts are human. The ghost that gives Dan Aykroyd a BJ is human.
Right. But the main ones, the big ones that people see and like interact with, are like Slimer and all the nonsense like Gozer and stuff. I could see a world where you would have a hard time convincing someone that is a ghost. I guess, like a ghost in terms of like something that's like a Halloween costume character thing. But then I'm like, I don't know, man. This universe and Scooby-Doo, one of them, like, just go do that. Go solve other crimes that are ghost-related. There's people, I mean, like, yeah, there would be... And the fact that there are seemingly, like, real Ghostbusters memorabilia collectors. Just sell stuff. Do what they do now in real life and go to conventions and make money. People would love to drive around the car. That happens in real life, and that's not even a real thing that happened. Imagine if it was.
Yeah, man, I don't know. They just don't know. They just don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I think this movie bugged me because Paul Rudd did that. Because Paul Rudd was like, ooh, you got a real one, a real replica. And it's like, there's a market for that, I guess. Then what does that mean? And then, yeah, we'll talk about the later thing. But, so... I don't remember how we're talking about this. Oh, I guess it's just like, as the movie goes on, the main characters just keep bumping into stuff from the first movie. That's like, the thingy.
A loose collection of just like bumbling into certain things while nothing happens.
Yeah. I feel like after the first one of those, you'd probably go like, oh, right. Our grandfather is a Ghostbuster, or at least he's associated with the Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters proton packs were like really dangerous. We should try to figure out if there are any around here, because then we'll all die if it explodes. We're probably getting radiation poisoning from the proton pack in the, buried under the backyard right now, because those things are so bad.
I mean, speaking of people from the Ghostbusters universe being psychotically uninterested in ghosts, the daughter has, like, no reaction to A, meeting a ghost, and then B, shortly afterwards figuring out that said ghost is her grandfather she's never met. Yeah. Like, no reaction to that whatsoever. And like, we've already talked about how she said, like, oh, I don't show emotions the same way other people do. It's not just that she has no physical reaction when it happens. She seems to have no reaction to the idea whatsoever. Other than, oh, proton pack? That's cool.
Maybe this Egon... Well, I guess this Egon has just recently been turned into a ghost. But maybe she's just been dealing with ghosts her whole life and kind of thinks it's normal. Doesn't want to bring it up because...
But she said specifically earlier that she doesn't believe in ghosts to the child whose name shall not be mentioned.
We'll get to him. I that is weird. Yeah, she is very uninterested in ghosts. And you know what else they're uninterested in? The whole place, the whole house. None of them, besides the fact that she finds the mystery fucking like jigsaw puzzle floor, no one checks to see what is going on in the all of the outside part. No one digs around to see if there's anything there at all.
Yeah, and I mean the like secret workshop where she finds the proton pack down the fire pole that the child in your theater loved so much. It's not like
he really did.
He really loved it. It's not like hidden. It's just in the shed that I guess nobody looked in.
Yeah. Remember in the trailer where I think this happens in the trailer. I mean, it definitely happened in the movie, but I'm pretty sure it was in the trailer where they pull the big tarp off of the Ecto-1 and like we see it as the audience like, oh, the Ecto-1, and the kid's like, this isn't important. And it's like, it is though, kind of, right? You can see into it. It's weird looking. Check it out. Like, you forget about ghosts. Let's pretend ghosts don't exist and there's never been Ghostbusters. If I unplacked that car and like just saw it, first of all, like, ooh, free car. This is interesting to me. Wait a second, what's in this car? A little drone and a little fucking gunner seat and all kinds of mechanical nonsense. And also, it seems to be some sort of weird police car. Like, forgetting about all the Ghostbusters stuff. Just, there's so many technological things about this house that would warrant so much interest from anyone on this planet, really. I mean, I get it. He just wants girls, and like, yeah, I can appreciate that. But it's just so weird because I kind of expected that moment to be something, but it's nothing.
It does make Trevor, the Stranger Things child, look like a complete and total moron later when Phoebe's telling him, our grandpa was Egon Spangler, one of the Ghostbusters. And he's like, what? While he's driving the Ghostbuster car he found? Like, did you not think about that at all?
Yeah, like the Ghostbusters... The Ghostbusters in our universe aren't even real, and everybody knows what that car looks like. They were 2 movies in a cartoon. Like, this is a real Ghostbusters that were busting ghosts for a while. After the incident of Ghostbusters 1 and 2, it seems like they went for, like, what, 10 years, I think they say, or something?
Something like that. He even says, like, at one point, Phoebe's like, in 1984, Manhattan was attacked. And he's like, yeah, the ghost attacks of 1984. I know all about those. Like, and you didn't know what the car is?
Yeah. What is that? What is it with these dang kids of these todays, you know?
You know, it's these dang millennials. They're on their phones all the time and won't watch great movies like The Last Duel or recognize Ghostbuster cars.
That's true. Millennials. I forgot he said that. Oh, man. Yeah, oh, God, I forgot about it. We should do Last Duel next week just to show reverence and salute the theater, salute the movie the whole time. Just to show him that we're not like those other millennials. Okay. Where was I going with this? Oh, right. So, yeah. Also, so Paul Rudd knows what the Ghostbusters are, right?
Yes.
I wanted to bring this up. So Paul Rudd we meet him, he's like the teacher or whatever at school, and he shows the kids Cujo so that he could do nothing, which is adorable.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Power move.
And like, Cujo's a tough one for kids. And so is Chucky. He really finds the two that I'm like, man, don't show that to a kid. Show the kid, like, I don't know, like The Shining. I mean, maybe not The Shining, but one without children or dogs.
Oh, man. Definitely not The Shining. Talk about movies where someone gets sucked off.
Oh, that's true. Oh, man, yeah. But, okay, so he goes to, Phoebe in the classroom, let's just say it now, meets the best character in any of these. And I remember hearing about this character and going, well, that's not what it's called. It's got to be, that's like a name that they use once or twice or something. That's like what the bullies called the kid, but then in real life it's something else. I feel like this is like maybe, God, is this the worst thing that's ever happened in a movie?
I think it's up there.
It's so bad. This is what Ridley Scott was talking about specifically. It's for people that don't know, haven't seen it, and again, sit in your head for a second. Take a guess at what this kid's deal is. Phoebe is in school, like not paying attention to the movie or whatever, and then a kid shows up next to her who's like sitting next to her and has a microphone and starts narrating stuff like, oh, and then she looked at me and she was, staring or whatever. Introduces himself and he says, I am podcast. No. It's amazing.
No.
It's so crazy.
That
podcast.
That kid introduced himself and I was like, that's it. I'll never be happy again.
It's podcast. It's the name of a character in a movie. And it's because he loves podcasts so much. No, that's the reason. I think I might change my name to podcast then too, right? That's the rules now? You and me, we're both podcasts. I mean, like, we don't ruin everybody else's day by recording it at them, but like this kid does, and it seems to be working out for him. He's 1 subscriber, which is funny, I guess. But yeah. Also, I don't know what the fuck Dan Aykroyd is doing. Listening to a 10-year-old's podcast. That seems pretty weird.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, maybe he didn't know, but I mean, the kid is narrating it. So, like,
yeah,
man.
And the kid says the podcast is about, like, his life, too. So, like, I feel like at some point, grade school would come up. No, maybe
Probably.
not. Oh, God. So, podcast. He has a whole podcasting rig. And, like, a really good boom mic and some other shit. I don't know. Wires making stuff go. It's great. Love it.
I refuse. I don't even want to talk about this kid. I hate this character so much.
Podcast. And he's making a podcast. Is the podcast have a name?
It does. It does have a name. I can't remember what it is.
It's like a bunch of shit, right?
It's like Mysteries of the Universe or something.
Yeah, that's right. So great. What if that's that kid's only acting gig ever? It's just podcast, one and done, maybe.
Listen, I'm not gonna shit talk the kid, like the actual human actor, because it's not his fault. But God, I hate this character so much. I don't think there's a single thing he says or does that didn't depress me.
What if the kid in the like they got the role and stuff, they were like, okay, you're gonna be playing Alex. This kid, he loves making podcasts and he's always interviewing people. And they're like, okay, great. And then they got on set the first day, and Reitman was like, by the way, I have a couple notes. First of all, your character's name is Podcast now. And then he was like, I think I should quit, Mom. And Mom's like, no, we're doing it. Your podcast. We're going to cash out this podcast check. You're going to go to all the cons, all the Ghostbuster conventions as podcast, and this is your life now, Sonny.
Oh, no.
Yeah, poor podcast.
Man. You know,
absolutely insane.
It's a shame that these stage moms are forcing podcasts on the youth.
Oh man, how would you? Okay, so like, and it's not part of it at all. He may as well not be podcast.
It doesn't come up ever.
No,
it's just, I don't know. I guess they wanted to make fun of podcasts, which, I mean, fair enough. Podcasts are dumb bullshit for idiots, but
yeah,
why? But like, why? Why in this movie? Handsome idiots, yes. But why in this movie? For what reason?
Yeah, I don't know. This seems like something that, like, you know, very boomery. What's his hobby? Podcasting. What do you mean? His name's Podcast. What do you want? The podcast kid. Can we move on?
Oh, man.
Oh, his name's Podcast.
That's the rest of the episode. We're never going to get off this.
It's so good. His name is Podcast. It's not like his name is like, you know, Philip Oddcast or something, and it's just a nickname they've made. Like, that would be a little weird, but, you know, its name is Podcast.
It's not even like a nickname other people gave him because he loves podcasts so much and he decides to stick with it. It's a nickname he gives himself because he loves podcasts so much.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any other friends besides Phoebe. Imagine if there was a kid like at a high school or whatever, grade school, and a podcast. That podcast would be incredible. Like, it would be insane. There's probably kids doing this right now, but like, kids are so weird. It would be fascinating. And also, yeah, this kid just pretty much reads the stage direction. That's all he does. Or like, he reads the script out at our main characters and is like, with a sullen expression, she opens the door, and it's like, cute. Reitman, good job. You did it.
Way to write, man.
Way to write, man. That's,
you get it?
It's like, he should be Podcast. He's like, that's why he was like, everyone called me Right Man, and I wrote. And then this kid does podcasts. So I guess his name must be also Podcast, the thing that he does. What was I going to say? Oh, you know what else is weird? Something else. I can't remember what it was. Oh, this is another movie, 2 in a row. Well, not 2 in a row, I guess. I don't think Red Notice did this. But Counting Eternals, where instead of being a metaphor for something, some sort of existential environmental disaster, the movie has like a supernatural thing that just takes its place. You know? Isn't that interesting?
I will say, unlike Eternals, which just pretends climate change doesn't exist, they do at least talk about fracking.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like movies are so close, to just be like, the ghosts are a metaphor for fracking or something, but they just can't do it. I don't know what it is.
Well, in the first movie, they weren't a metaphor for fracking, so we can't have it in this movie because we just got to do the first movie again.
That's true. It makes a lot of sense, actually. And they, at the end, then they're like, they have a whole thing where they're like, Ghostbuster, she discovers all this stuff and it's great. What else does Podcast do? He kind of tags along for most of the movie.
Yeah, he's just kind of hanging out because he thinks it's cool.
Yeah, because she's new and she doesn't know how annoying he is yet.
Well, I think she does. She just hasn't realized just how annoying that annoyingness is.
Yeah, she's too nice to like say no and be, listen, Podcast, give me some space, okay? But you go Podcast over there in the corner.
That's where I do my best podcasting.
That's where the podcast ghost shows up and podcasts Dan Aykroyd.
Hey, Nando, speaking of that's the podcast ghost. So while they're hanging out, while the unnamed child and Phoebe are hanging out, at one point they're playing around with the proton pack that Egon's ghost helped her find.
Oh, yeah.
And they find a ghost who's just hanging out, I guess, unrelated to the plot of the movie. He's just kind of there. Who eats metal.
I guess, like, I guess it's unrelated to the plot, but, like, it seems like every whatever many years ghosts just start bubbling up, so I guess this one got out as part of that.
I guess. Anyway.
Remember the bit where they explain that Nazis were kind of part of it?
Yeah,
but
they won't say Nazis or the Holocaust. They're just like, in 1945, a lot of bad things happened then, I guess. Let's move on.
Wild. Oh my god. Oh man, yeah.
But so they meet Muncher, the blue ghost that eats metal, and isn't Slimer, guys. Guys, he's not Slimer.
Even though Slimer's whole thing was he ate hot dogs. So it's like Slimer, if this guy, if anything, should be like, the munching is not necessarily part of it. Slimer also munched, just munched something different.
Yes. But do you know who voiced Muncher?
No, but let me guess.
I'll give you 3 guesses, and here's my hint. It's not like the first thing you think of, but when you hear it, you'll be like, oh, yeah, all right.
Is it Vin Diesel?
No.
Tony Todd.
Nope. One more guess.
Paul Feig.
Oh, closest one yet. It's Josh Gad.
No! Josh Gad was in this. What?
Yep.
Get out of town.
Josh Gad voices Muncher, which I don't know why, because Muncher just like kind of screams. And
yeah, he does actually. He screams
makes
a lot.
chewing noises, and like that's it.
I also feel like I know what a Josh Gad scream sounds like, probably from movies.
From
I wonder if
Kenneth
now that I know
Branagh's
that,
Artemis Fowl, of course.
Right? Yeah, he munched dirt in that one, at his butthole. And this guy.
Well, no, he munched it through his mouth and then farted it out of his butthole.
Right, and this guy farts the, like, I don't know, little metal filings out of his. He like barfs them up. So
yeah, like bullets.
Yeah, like little bullets. Yeah, Muncher was weird. I didn't like Muncher. I wouldn't hate it if it was like, if there was more of that. I think they were just getting weird monster guys.
You mean like the first movie where there's just like the middle part of the movie is all them just getting a bunch of different ghosts because they're the Ghostbusters.
there's the bit in this movie where things start going wrong, and there's nothing the Ghostbusters do that affects it in terms of like the stuff that happens in the town. But I think I would like to see that more, maybe, unless a guy that does show up that I think is stupid. But like, there's some fun to be had there with like a lot of imaginative monster designs. Muncher doesn't fly, although he kind of does. He has lots of arms, kind of swims around. I don't know. That's something. I feel like that's probably what happened in the cartoon, though. They probably came up with all the cool ones and then have never touched since. Like, they just don't bother. He's good. But yeah, so podcasts.
God damn it.
Podcast. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, okay. So, Paul Rudd, the teacher, is like, you guys have a real ghost trap. That's pretty cool. I'm going to open it because I'm a science teacher, and science is cool and tough and sick and rock and like all kinds of stuff. Punk rock. That's what he says.
He does. He literally says that at one point. Yes. He
says it's punk rock. And I really did like when he plugged it into a car and then just like tapped it. I was like, Paul Rudd's gonna die in this scene because it's still a metal thing. But I did like that when the ghost came out of the thing, he unplugged he did the jumper cables right. He did black first, and then he did. That was cool.
Good job, Paul Rudd. You didn't die.
Yeah, I feel like you don't see that enough in movies. They'll both take both off first, and it's like, that's not safe. But this one, they got it right. One of the many things this movie does right. Like, have podcasts be in it. And also that thing with the jumper cables.
Yeah, but so, here's a question. If they hadn't let that ghost out, would the movie just not happen? Like, had Egon done it?
Had Egon done it? I don't know if there's a time limit on it. Because, like, it was like 2021 was like the year when it happened. So you're saying if they had just gotten stuck in the thing forever.
Well, because it was Gatekeeper or Keymaster. I don't remember which one is in there at the time.
One of them.
But, the thing from Ghostbusters 1, because nothing original can happen in this movie.
The demon dog or whatever they're called. Something like that.
Right. So Egon apparently, right after it killed him, because one of those things killed him.
Right.
Trapped it in the ghost trap. So without both the Gatekeeper and the Keymaster, Gozer can't show up.
That's right.
So if that one had just stayed trapped in that trap for the rest of the year, would it just not have happened? Like, did they screw up?
Yeah, I think so. I think specifically Paul Rudd screwed up because it doesn't seem like the kids were going to open it anyway. So, yeah, I think that's right.
Well, then also Egon screwed up, though, because she only found it because he, directly led her to it. So why did he do that?
Lead her to? Oh, yeah, he did. Good question. Maybe he wanted to see if anyone could figure out his little floor puzzle thing.
He was just so excited about sharing the floor puzzle he didn't think about. Like, afterwards, when she pulled out the trap, he was like, oh, no, I forgot I put that there.
Yeah. Also, did he put it there? I guess his ghost did.
I mean, how did
his
it
ghost
get
just,
there?
Throw it into the ocean.
I don't... Well, he's in Oklahoma. I mean, there's no ocean for quite some...
He's a ghost. Just pick it up and fly away.
Can ghosts pick things up?
I mean, he moves stuff.
That's true. Oh, man. The more I think about this movie, the less sense it makes.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they do release the demon dog thing. I think that's right.
And then it just leaves and then comes back later to do its Gatekeeper Keymaster thing. Even though it's not clear to me that there was really any element of timing for this, and it could have just done that right away.
I mean, yeah. I guess, if anything, it's like that specific one just got scared or something and had to go home and then get a pep talk from Gozer. But also, it didn't seem like it... I feel like this movie takes place over a really short amount of time.
Yeah, I think it's only a couple days.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 days at most.
Yeah. So I guess maybe it just takes that long for that to decide to go back out because it's all scared. I mean, that thing did get absolutely destroyed in the 80s. Now it has to play again, and it stinks. So, like, I get it. I understand why that thing wouldn't want to be
it had
part
to
of the
possess
world
Rick
anymore.
Moranis in the 80s. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
was,
was he the sexiest man alive in the 80s? I can't remember.
I mean, he's the sexiest man alive now, so.
That's true. Is he the only cast member that doesn't make an appearance besides, obviously, what's his name, although he technically does?
The only major cast member, I guess, yeah, because you have all 4 Ghostbusters. You have Janine.
Yeah.
You have Sigourney Weaver in the ghost credit scene.
The ghost credit scene. You don't have, I guess, what's his name?
Walter Peck.
The EPA guy. Yeah, but he's a big pedophile or something, right? So he doesn't get to be in these anymore.
Right. Is he also the principal from Ferris Bueller?
Yeah, I think so. The Ferris Bueller guy definitely is, and I think he is that too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know the Ferris Bueller guy turned out to be a pedophile.
Yeah, maybe he'll be in the next one.
Maybe. I mean, if they get the other Stranger kids to be in it, it's, they...
Yes, Diggins, go on.
Man. I was trying to make a joke about about pedophiles really liking them, but my brain just fell apart halfway through.
I mean, they're all 18 now anyway. But
yeah, that's true. They've all lost interest.
Yeah.
Drake, she doesn't get texts from Drake anymore.
What's I gonna say? Oh, okay. So then the movie. So we do the Munchler thing, and then there's a big fun chase scene where they learn about all the new tactical ghost busting machines they have and stuff, including a trap that is a little RC car, and then that's pretty handy, Good thing to have.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm looking. So this guy is not the guy who played Walter Peck is not the guy from.
Oh, really?
Ferris Bueller, and as far as I can tell, is not a pedophile. So before we get sued for libel or slander, I think slander when it's spoken,
Imprinted
doesn't
libel.
seem to be a pedophile.
Character from a movie told me that once. We'll get to him. We'll get to him. But you're saying William Atherton is not the same guy from Ferris Bueller, huh?
I don't think so.
I believe you, but I also remember him being that guy. My brain is broken. But you're right, it's not the same guy. Interesting. So interesting. I want to look at a picture of Walter Peck now. See what his hairstyle looked like. Oh, yeah, I guess he does look different. You know what? He does look different. Similar, but different. I'm sure everybody that's listening that knows stuff about Ghostbusters was furious just then. Like, all this Walter Peck slander. Because, I mean, he's kind of got the same face, but he has a goatee, and the Ferris Bueller doesn't. Very interesting. So, okay. All right. So we got all the guys. Everybody's got all their guns and stuff. Whatever. I don't know. Who cares? Paul Rudd goes to Walmart, and it turns out the monsters are all at the Walmart.
Yeah, because now everything's popping off for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's
mostly
changed.
because of what Paul Rudd did earlier.
I guess it's because of what Paul Rudd did. I guess that's the only thing that's changed, because the mountain we see is, like, full of ghost stuff, but we also find out, I think before this point, like, the kids go in the mountain to be like, hey, what's up with the mine that was built by Ivo Shandor, because, again, this movie cannot have a single original thing in it. And they're like, oh, there's a big ghost well, but Egon built a thing that makes it stop happening, so it's cool, actually. We're good. But then Paul Rudd goes to the Walmart, and
Uh-oh, indeed.
Well, I was giving some backstory before you continued what you were saying.
Oh, first of all, the marshmallows are the one from the first one. And the little baby marshmallow babies. Hated that, except I liked how they all died in it. That was pretty fun.
It was, yeah, they started doing like Gremlins shit where they were like
committed suicide in their movies.
Yeah, where they were like killing themselves while like laughing maniacally, and it's like, what the fuck is happening? Is this for children?
Well, the one on the grill did not seem to enjoy it.
That's true. But
yeah,
then in that same shot, there's two that are skewered through the stomach with toothpicks or whatever, and like being roasted normally like a marshmallow, and they love it.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Good question.
Maybe they're like the Cenobites from Painkiller, I think is the name of that horror series.
I've never seen that.
Is it Painkiller? No, I don't think it's Painkiller. God, what are the Cenobites from?
Minions.
Yep, that's it. It's from Minions. Hellraiser.
Cenobites.
They're from Hellraiser.
You think they like get off on pain?
Yeah, they are like so into pain that it's become pleasure to them.
It's probable. That would explain why they're, all dying and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty weird. Do you think marshmallows? Who gives a shit? By the way, like marshmallows, I don't know, man. I feel like it's weird. Like, there's some bits that I felt a little bit fan servicey where, like, for instance, there's a bit where they take the Crunch Bar wrapper out of a jumpsuit, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess he had that in the first one. Whatever.
Oh, believe me, anything he had in the first one will show up eventually.
Yeah, but I don't mind like a little visual. I don't love when we like see the Twinkie in the glove box, and it's like, oh yeah, right from the original. But this one was like so much, and they show up later, and it's kind of like, did this ghost make just them? Like, is Gozer obsessed with the little marshmallow guys?
Yeah, I don't understand why. Yeah, why did they come? Like, is Gozer just like mad about the Ghostbusters, and so that they do the marshmallows again? Because the only reason the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man showed up in the first one is because Dan Aykroyd was trying to think of the least threatening thing he could, and Gozer could read their minds.
Right. And also, yeah, maybe maybe this happens enough that Gozer is just like, I don't know. I guess marshmallows are really, because Gozer doesn't know what's going on in Earth, right? So like after it sees the marshmallows, it's like Marshmallow Man in 80s. It's like, this is definitely the coolest, toughest thing. So I will make marshmallows when I come back, an army of marshmallows. But it doesn't know what marshmallows are. Maybe I don't know if marshmallows been around. Did they predate World War II?
I think so, but they were originally there's a plant called a marshmallow that they were originally made from. They have long since stopped being made from them.
Interesting.
But so the plant version of it, I think, is decently old.
Interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna guess Gozer thinks the marshmallows are like, T-Rexes or something. Because yeah, it's not like the blenders come to life. It is just like the dog and a bunch of marshmallows. And then later, when Gozer needs minions, it's a bunch of marshmallows. The marshmallows even follow them. Like, when the marshmallows show up in the car, I'm like, what the fuck? Did you guys have marshmallows in the car? Or did you bring them? How did they get here? Can they fly?
Maybe there's a bunch of marshmallow plants nearby. I don't know.
That'd be funny if he was farming marshmallows so he could make his own marshmallow monster to fight the eventual marshmallow monster to scare away Gozer again. Oh, that'd be great. I think what probably happened is there was a bag of marshmallows in the car because marshmallows were in the first movie. Much like the Twinkie and stuff, that just, was somewhere. And then they put that in here. So, and then they, those marshmallows came to life too, but I did not care for it. I did like Sexy Paul Rudd, though. That was real fun. Paul Rudd looking like a fucking cover of a romance novel.
Oh, you mean
ripped up shirt.
Minnie's clothes are all ripped, yeah. And then
it was great.
And then he and the mom bone down while possessed by ghosts. But apparently they know what they're doing because later they talk about how they bone down.
Yeah.
and seemed
That
like
was
they were kind
interesting.
of into having sex while possessed. Even though you'd think
Yeah, I
that that's actually like, even if it's with someone you generally want, you'd feel like the against your will aspect of it would actually be quite horrifying.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he's like, he's just like a really loose kind of free-spirited teacher slash seismologist. So, whatever happens, happens, man. And she's probably, man, like just like drunk to even, although that brings up a whole lot of other issues, but she just kind of goes with it. I don't know. But she had on her fancy, like, fucking coat, or not coat, the dress from the first movie, so maybe that was like,
Yeah, of course
cool
you
for
did,
her.
because it's from the first movie, so we've got to have it.
Yeah, that one was rough. Yeah, and then the kids go to jail and they call the guy from the first movie, and they're like,
But not
"Hey."
before the sheriff does the hilarious line of saying,
Oh,
"Who you
God.
gonna call?" Oh, remember that? It's from the song. You love the song from the movie, you guys remember?
Right? And it's like, I mean,
I feel like
I
I'm
feel like-
melting.
what'd you say?
I feel like I'm melting.
Here, I'll say it a couple more times, and that'll help. Podcast. Now you're back. Now you're in, baby.
It just feels like so much of this movie was like designed in a lab to make me hate it.
I said that on my way home. I was like, "There's so many things are designed to make Diggins annoyed." I forgot it though because I was thinking about podcast too much. Let me see if I got any other notes. By the way, that we got by jumper cables, child Ghostbusters poll. Oh, remember this comes up now. Dan Aykroyd. They call Dan Aykroyd, and he gives them all the backstory of the old Ghostbusters movies and stuff. And kind of explains what happened in between. Remember when he says that the Reagan years were good for the Ghostbusters?
Yeah, well.
Didn't care for that.
Oh man, have you ever heard of those like readings of like Ghostbusters is kind of a right-wing movie?
I have heard that because the EPA is bad and stuff, and like
EPA
these
is
small
bad.
businessmen.
It's all about like small business owners having to overcome government regulation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have heard that, and I think at least probably one of them thinks that. Dan Aykroyd's guy, for sure. What was his job in the beginning of the movies?
They were all three of them except for Ernie Hudson were professors.
Or just science? Okay, yeah. So, I don't know, man. Those liberal elite professors up in their ivory towers. Maybe they don't get it, but maybe he gets it now.
I mean, honestly, I think it has more to do with, that was the prevailing culture at the time, and so, that was just kind of what, it was kind of the zeitgeist within which they were working, more than any like real ideological commitment on their part. But
oh yeah,
I don't know enough about Dan Aykroyd's non-ghost related political beliefs to really say.
I want to take a guess and say not great, but I don't know anything about it either.
I know my man like really 100% fully believes in ghosts. Like the Ghostbusters mythology is just stuff he thinks for real.
Really?
Yeah, that's not a joke.
Oh, cool.
He sells
That's fun.
He sells tequila made in crystal skulls he claims are from like fucking South American tribes or whatever that are like
Excuse you,
mystic.
It is vodka.
Oh, sorry,
Crystal
it's
Head vodka. Yeah.
It's crystal skull vodka that he sells that has like mystic powers or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. Dan Aykroyd might be cool. They all seem like weirdos.
I mean, I think he's the only one that like actually believes in ghosts. The rest of them were in a movie.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be funny if they all believed in whatever happened in their movies. Like, Bill Murray believes in Garfield, and like Ernie Hudson believes
And that's
in
why he
whatever his
supports
other
Chris
movies are.
Pratt 100%.
Yeah. Reagan years would have been good to Chris Pratt Garfield.
Oh, Reagan years would have been great to Chris Pratt, personally.
Okay. Wait, okay, so I do want to say this. So we do get information on the other Ghostbusters. I don't remember what Venkman's been up to. Does it say? Like,
What
did
he
we find out?
Like, he says what everyone went on to do. He says Venkman teaches, like, advertising.
Oh, right, yeah. I forgot about that. And then Ernie Hudson's guy is probably a crypto billionaire. It's not made explicit, but
they never say what he does. He just says he went into business and did really well, or finance.
He invented those apes that are NFTs, whatever they're called.
The crazy
exhausted apes.
Or exhausted ape or stupid. I think there's many different apes.
That's fair. I mean, you can never have too many apes. But yeah, they so all the Ghostbusters split up when Egon stole all the equipment and left, which good reason to break up, I guess.
Yeah, you don't have any more equipment and the guy who made it is gone.
Yeah. I was kind of expecting a little line, by the way, when he's like, hey, do you know Egon Spangler? And Dan Aykroyd's like, he can rot in hell. And the daughter's like, he died. And I wanted him to be like, oh, good. That's where hell is.
No, then he is. Cool.
Yeah.
But
he didn't do that. He was nice because the movie is very reverent of the Ghostbusters. It takes nothing but care and love for them. Yes,
even when at the beginning it's like he was a bad dad, and then the mom raises some very legitimate points about how even if he felt what he was doing was important, even if what he was doing was important, it doesn't make him not a bad dad. Except later the movie's like, but it does though.
Yeah. He came all this way,
And he spied on you your whole life without your consent.
That's right.
That makes him a good dad.
He was probably trying to be a good dad by playing chess with you, but you didn't even pay attention. Just play chess with him.
Anyway.
By the way, second chess movie in a row. After the Bishop in Red Notice, and now this.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like if we do Matrix next week, a lot of chess in that.
Is there? I've never seen the other ones. Never seen the second or third ones.
I feel like there's at least one chess scene. I don't remember what movie it's in, but I think it might be the next one.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
We're talking about So they talk about how the Ghostbusters fell out and Egon left and took all the stuff. You know what's never made clear? Why none of them believed him, even though he's literally just describing the thing they saw happen in the first movie. He's just like, hey, the same guy who built the thing in that first movie built the same thing somewhere else that's doing the same thing. So we've got to go stop it. And they all were like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I feel like, I see, I don't want to, I do think this franchise, if it's going to be a franchise, and it is, can afford to do new things and, go in different directions and stuff. Doesn't need to involve the other Ghostbusters. However, if we're going to involve the other Ghostbusters, that's an interesting movie, kind of. It's just one of them trying to do something and then the other ones are kind of too big time or they don't believe in it anymore and they have to recapture the magic or whatever. But yeah, I don't see how we can't just explain it as no, here, I'll show you. His his tomb is in the middle of a thing. There's a whole statue of Gozer. I'll send you a picture of it. You'll come after that, right?
He can get the plans. Hey, remember how we uncovered this Ivo Shander dude was super in love with Gozer or whatever, and wanted to bring Gozer to life, and spent his career as an architect making buildings to bring Gozer into reality. Well, here's an entire town built by him. Probably something's up with that, guys, right? We should probably go look at it.
Yeah, what? So, the Ghostbusters were never more than those four guys,
Apparently
and
not.
What's her name, obviously?
And Janine.
Janine, yeah. They never expanded out at all? To,
I guess not.
Have a fifth guy or something? Just do away missions. Do they only do New York stuff? They can't go to China or something if there's a China ghost?
Unless the Ghostbusters game is canon, and then you play as the rookie, who is the fifth guy they hired.
That's right. I don't think it is, but it might be. I mean, who knows? This movie doesn't know which Ghostbusters movies are canon. The Ghostbusters movies never know. The trailer for the first remake, it had no idea. Trailer second to trailer second. It just got confused. So.
And then this one doesn't acknowledge the second one, and also, given the timeline for when the mom was born, if the second one did happen, then Egon had a kid during it he just doesn't talk about. So that would be weird.
Yeah, also, okay, so Paul Rudd, Ghostbusters fan, right? Collector and stuff. Did he not take attendance and see that girl's last name?
Maybe they go by the dad's name. I think
They
I think
went by
she.
Spangler.
I think she says Spangler at the end, but I think she gives another name before that.
Oh, maybe that's true. Because they have such interesting names, Venkman, Spangler. Like you'd see that on a paper and go like,
Stans.
yeah, I know that from somewhere. What is Ernie Hudson's guy's name? I can never remember.
Oh gosh, what is his name?
Dan Aykroyd. I always just called those actors' names, and then Venkman and Egon. I'm like, those are pretty memorable.
Dan Aykroyd is Ray Stans.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Right?
Winston Zeddemore.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is a good name. So they call. So she calls Ghostbusters. She's like, "Hey, you guys are Ghostbusters. There's a ghost here. It's very bad." And he gets hung up on, and then thinks for a second, and you're like, "All right, I guess we're gonna do this, aren't we?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing happens for a while. Just kidding. They all break out of jail or whatever. They free Munchler to munch on the jail. That was clever, I guess.
Yeah. Fine, I guess.
I hope Munchler didn't kill anyone. You know. But that's a risk they have to take. And then they go fight Gozer. The end.
And they fight Gozer by quoting Ghostbusters at them until they decide to leave.
Turns out the house is a big ghost trap. But wait, the house doesn't work. Or does it? No, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work at first, but then Trevor, the Stranger Things kid, shoots his proton pack at it, and then it works.
I'm talking about in the beginning. So
it doesn't. I think it doesn't work at the beginning.
Yeah, I guess he just did bad math or whatever, and it never worked because he probably didn't get to test it. Although he probably should have tested it, but
yeah, I probably should have tested a little before he did it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just bad science.
He's not a good scientist. He's good at fire poles and candy. He's a big candy guy. What else does he like? Dirt. I don't know. Like, when did he go to this town? When did Egon go here? Where the kids were born, right?
It must have been, because, I mean, he's never seen his daughter, according to her. She's never met him. I think Dan Aykroyd does give a time frame, but I forget what it is.
Yeah, me neither. Or I can't remember either. Yeah, but then the movie just is like them doing Ghostbuster stuff at the Gozer. We didn't talk about this yet, but I already forgot his name. The building guy,
Ivo Shandor.
Ivo Shandor is in a little tomb, and he is woken by Gozer.
Yeah, for no reason, and it's never explained or matters. It's really weird.
But it is the best cameo. I couldn't believe it. Did you recognize him when you saw it?
I didn't, but I do know who it is now.
Yeah, just fucking J.K. Simmons, man. He's
good for
in this
him.
movie.
I love J.K. Simmons. I'm not going to say no to a little J.K. Simmons.
It's wild. And they just rip him in half. That was kind of fun. And he got ripped in half by the ghost. The end. Oh, wait. No, we got to talk about how the Ghostbusters all show up to be Ghostbusters. Yeah.
There was a moment where I was like, is this really going to end with like the Ghostbusters solving the problem and like the main characters don't matter?
Right?
I really thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, you kind of figure there's two ways it would. One, it's like, is they just don't show up and it's a gag or something. Like they all get out of a car and they're in the wrong city and it's like, wait a second. And then they're not part of the finale. And two, they show up at the very end to take the trap or something and go, we'll take care of this kid. And that's it. But they are fully the main characters at the end of the movie. It's really strange.
Yeah, they show up and like shoot the proton packs at Gozer and are like, haha, there's nothing you can do. And then Gozer does it anyway. This whole final sequence is like a child's game of imagination where it's just like
yeah.
Whether or not shooting a proton pack at something will work is just completely at random.
Yep. But it does work if you have 4 proton packs or 5 or whatever, and one of them is being held by a little girl. That's not good enough.
A little
but what
girl.
if instead?
Oh.
It was also held by dead guy.
A ghost?
Ghost, yeah, a friendly ghost. Casper, the friendly ghost. And he shows up, and in the beginning it's just his hand, and you're like, this is enough. Don't do more, movie. Does so much more.
Oh, does way too much.
Yeah. Now this is where, really, for me, the logic of the Ghostbusters universe falls apart. So, if you're a ghost, he is a ghost in, like, whatever. He's living in this world, but, like, not in his blue humanoid form, but he is, like, playing chess and, like, doing stuff.
Well, he's invisible, like the ghost that gives Dan Aykroyd a blowjob.
Right.
Before she takes off his, like, right before she takes off his pants, he turns invisible. Just like.
But at any point, could he have been visible?
I guess. I don't know why he wouldn't have been if that's the case, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's not like he's, it's not like he's keeping it a big secret. It would probably be really helpful for explaining to the other three Ghostbusters why they should care.
But can he leave, like, this area? Because he's never outside of the house, really.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The ghosts fly around a bunch in these movies and stuff. I don't see why not. I mean, maybe not, but like.
But do ghosts that aren't like weird ectoplasm monsters like Slimer or Muncher fly around? Because I feel like when they're the humanoid ghosts, they always stick to one place. Whether it's the library, this farm, or that bedroom where Dan Aykroyd gets sucked off.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like maybe that is the rule, is you have to be within like 100 yards of where you got killed. But then it's like, okay, so is everybody in this universe a ghost?
I don't think so.
Is it just because he's been messing around with too many ghosts and he got ghost juice all over him?
Maybe it's because he had things left he needed to do. Maybe it's the classic ghost trope.
So I feel like then it's like most people have that, right? Like 50% of the population has unfinished business, I would have to assume. Maybe if yours is ghost unfinished business, then it's like, all right, you get another couple years ghost around or whatever. But like, how does Slimer become a ghost?
I don't know. I don't know if Slimer was a person or if Slimer is just like a spirit manifestation that doesn't have to do with people. I don't know what Slimer's deal is.
I believe canonically Slimer is a guy. I think he's supposed to be a gangster or mobster or something. But I don't, I guess, like, I kind of figured you just, like, turn into a monster man. Egon is just Egon. Like, he's just a Force Ghost version of that actor's name.
Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis, yeah. So, like, yeah, it seems like, and he can pick up help his, like, little granddaughter with the proton pack and wave at all his friends, and it's a really long cameo. It's way too long.
Yeah.
I think it looks pretty good, but it's bad. But I think they did a good job with, like, kind of what I've always said about some of the rest of these, where it's like, just don't try to make them look real. Do something so that they look a little bit not real.
It helps that he's like a glowing blue ghost, so he doesn't have to look like a person, and also that he doesn't, like, say anything and barely moves.
Yeah. It's, yeah, I feel like it would be pretty important. I guess maybe when you're a ghost, your perspective changes a little bit, and you're like, whatever, I don't need to tell everybody about the afterlife, but I'd kind of want one. Just like, give me a little bit of a perspective on the afterlife. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Is Gozer in charge of the afterlife?
I don't remember. The first movie is really where we get all the exposition on what Gozer is supposed to be, because this movie is just like, it's Gozer from the first movie, and that's all you get.
Yeah.
So I don't remember exactly what Gozer is.
Yeah. Either.
Well, I guess we should have done one of these about the first Ghostbusters before we watched this.
Do you think... Okay, so I feel like I didn't care for how all the Ghostbusters guys showed up. However, do you think the way to play this is do it now while most of them are alive, or wait for all of them to die and then have them all show up as ghosts?
Oh my god.
I kind of like that one. I want to say there was plans at one point for a movie where Bill Murray was dead and he was a ghost. You ever heard of this?
No.
Yeah, I think Ghostbusters 3 maybe originally was going to have one of the Ghostbusters die, but it wasn't, any dead people at the time, and they would just be the ghost versions themselves. And that's kind of interesting, but I guess that's what they did without doing all the cool stuff. What'd you think of Bill Murray and all of them looking like old men?
I mean, it's this. They look old. They look like it's been 40 years since they did Ghostbusters.
Some older than others.
Yes.
I think Bill Murray is the most old.
Yeah.
And Dan Aykroyd's,
I appreciate that he could still do his clearly no one else knew what he was going to say thing. Because nobody else is, like, playing off of or reacting to him. Because he's just saying whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I like that he's still doing that. And, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's fine. But, yeah. I mean, that's the thing I don't like about this stuff is, like, they show up and your first thought is just, they look so old and tired.
Yeah, they really do.
Like, they look like they shouldn't be doing this anymore. Because they shouldn't.
Egon's ghost looks like an old man. Like,
well, I think they made it intentionally look like Harold Ramis, like, before he died.
Yeah. Just, like, very... Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with being old Ghostbusters. If you're an old Ghostbuster, that's great. But... It's just strange. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, Bill Murray still does movies, and I like his new movie roles, when he shows up and is a funny guy and whatever.
Or a funny cat.
Or a funny cat. But, he's not being the thing from 40 years ago that I remember liking. He's being a new thing, and so I don't care that he's old then, but I care a lot that he's old when he's reminding me of when he was young, or at least when he was 40 years younger.
Yeah, it's so strange how, like, these movies, it's so clear that they don't want to make a Ghostbusters movie. Like, these four guys, or three.
Oh, no. Dan Aykroyd 100% does.
Right.
The rest
of
them
don't
are
all
like,
want to. There always has to be some sort of weird compromise where it's like, you're in the movie, but only in cameos. You're in the movie for 5 minutes, and that's it. When clearly the movie these movies all want to make is the one where it's just the four of them, or three and a ghost, or whatever. But, like, it's old dogs or wild hogs or whatever those, movies are where it's like, it's silly because they're old men, but they have to do ghost busting now. Like, it's not a great idea, but it's what these movies want to be. And they just can't do it because Bill Murray, I think, doesn't want to. I think he is the holdout.
I think he's the most intransigent holdout, but I don't think any of them besides Dan Aykroyd really feels that strongly about it. I don't think even when he was alive, Harold Ramis was like that hot on the idea.
Yeah, but now he's dead and he loves it. You saw how happy he was being in that movie.
Now he's dead and we can rewrite his thoughts and desires so that it's all he wanted in this world.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's actually kind of ghoulish when you think about it.
It is. Oh, that would be great. Oh, that'd be so good if the movie was about an evil ghost that was taking over all the ghosts and making them do bad things or something. And, like, Harold Ramis's ghost was, like, being the worst version of a Ghostbuster, like just selling Ghostbusters merchandise or something. I don't know how this would work, but it would be kind of meta and cool.
Yeah, like when at the start of Space Jam 2, when LeBron's like, this Space Jam 2 idea you have is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, this movie. Yeah, I don't know. What'd you think of all the post-credit scenes, huh?
I mean, the first one is just, I don't know, Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray doing a silly joke reference to the first movie, which is fine, I guess.
I loved how it would have been fun if they didn't put it in, like, the credits. But then they say Sigourney Weaver in the credits, and then they tease her in the scene, kind of. And it's like, I know who that is. It's Sigourney Weaver. You just told me, movie. I may have forgotten if you hadn't just told me a second ago. Yeah.
And then the second one doesn't make any sense at all.
No, I don't know what. I mean,
why is Janine talking to Winston about this? Why are we bringing up the coin like it matters in this scene? Why is the firehouse not a Starbucks? Like, I don't understand any of it.
Are we gonna get like Ghostbusters International? Is that where this is going? But
Oh boy.
because like we don't have any of them. Like we have like like Bill Murray. So right now the Ghostbusters crew is 3 old men, a ghost but he's gone now, 2 kids, and then their friends. One of whom I think is mostly going to do podcast work for the group, and a third, like a fourth.
You're talking about
person
Lucky.
who doesn't. That's right. She could get in on the podcast game. It's not that hard. Podcasts can do what anyone can.
I mean, if we could do it, then anyone could make a podcast.
That's true. So, like, yeah, I just don't. It's such a weird thing that we got. It's so weird that this movie wasn't the second generation of Ghostbusters. This would be the 3rd generation. We totally skipped having Chris Pratt the Ghostbuster, which thank God, but also
never say never, Nando.
That's true. That's true. Bill Murray probably got some kids he doesn't know about, you know?
Oh yeah, Bill Murray. Peter Venkman sowed some wild oats. Maybe the next one will involve the half human, half ghost hybrid of that ghost Dan Aykroyd fucked.
Yes. We haven't done that yet. It's a ghost person. Like in Jurassic Park, how the little girl is a clone, just like the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
This one can let out Gozer and all the other ghosts and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. I don't want to see another one of these. I don't care. Like, I don't, I wouldn't not watch it, but I don't care too much. But I do want, like, I don't know. I'd like a movie that really, like, dives into what the fuck is going on this planet now. Like, just what do people do? What do they care about?
The answer is it's just life now, but every once in a while someone's like, hey, remember when a bunch of ghosts attacked New York in the 80s? And I was like, yeah, of course we remember that. Why? Who gives a shit?
It's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Bizarre.
What if in the but it could be worse. What if in canon a ghost was ruining everyone's memories or something like that,
And that's why everyone keeps forgetting that ghosts are real.
Yep. Some sort of evil ghost curse that keeps everybody kind of forgetting about ghosts. They have to kill it, and then once they kill it, then the world will, like, remember how crazy all this shit was. There you go. That's the 5th one. You know who could save us from that? Some sort of ghost podcast fella. That would be helpful.
Because he'll be recording about the ghosts, and so everyone will be like, wait, but what are you talking about on this podcast? I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Wait. Yeah, here's us all talking about it together. Yeah, you could do that, actually. Like The Good Place, kind of, where, like, the whole episode starts and it's like everyone's forgotten about it. But then there's this podcast. Yeah, let's do that. They probably won't. It'll probably be Vigo the Carpathian again or something.
I don't know. They were pretending real hard that movie didn't happen.
A different picture. Yeah, that's true. Oh, man.
It'll just be Ivo Shandor built another mine shaft in another town. This one's in Kansas. Whoa.
Somehow Ivo Shandor has returned. And then he's cloned himself, and it's all great.
And then we don't make any toys of him, even though we did this to please the fans specifically.
Yeah. Ugh. Ghostbusters. What is wrong with you? What's going on? Get it together. I mean, I don't care, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I enjoy Ghostbusters, and I'm sure as a kid, like, I was like, hey, Ghostbusters, that's pretty cool. But, like, I don't love this franchise so much that I, like, care that they're making bad ones of it now, Yeah,
I feel like there's so much, it's just such a confusing, like, bunch of movies where it's like, if you look at something like Star Wars, it doesn't all work together very well, and there's canonically a lot of stuff's going on, but if you watch one of them and then you watch another one, you kind of know what, you can be like, oh, okay, I guess between this and this guy became this thing and whatever. But as a franchise, these 4 movies, and I'm counting the 2016 one, and I'll even count the video game, like, it just doesn't it's so weird. It's like you know what? The only thing I can think about, it's like the Halloween movies, where it's like Halloween 1 happened, Halloween 2 didn't happen. We're skipping right to Halloween, and then one after that. It's just like, who is like, yeah. I'm trying to think of other franchises that are like this, but even with Spider-Man, like they just start over, they reboot it, and then we move on. And now obviously we don't, but like that, you know, like Batman, that's just how those work. But with this, it's like they can never quite reboot it, but they can never not reboot it, and it's so weird.
Yeah.
Thank God, what's his name doesn't let them do Back to the Future sequels. Robert Zemeckis, you're a goddamn hero.
I mean, well, let's not praise Robert Zemeckis too much, because he's busy making things like An America Carol or whatever that movie's called.
An America Carol.
Yeah, the movie about how a thinly veiled Michael Moore XP is visited by 3 ghosts that teach him that America is actually good.
Did he make that?
Yeah, that's. I'm pretty sure that's Robert Zemeckis, but the movie definitely exists and is not a joke.
I have seen the movie. Are you sure?
I mean, maybe I'm thinking of some other
I mean, he
guy who made
Carol.
popular movies in the 80s.
Yeah, I don't think he made that.
Oh, am I thinking of some? I guess I'm thinking of someone else. Who did? Who made that
Michael
movie?
Moore. David Zucker, maybe.
Yeah, that must be it. Another popular
The
80s
airplane
man.
guy.
Yeah.
Now,
He's the one who did
Robert
it.
Zemeckis may have his own problems. I don't know too much about him, but he.
Yeah. So sorry for slandering you there for a little bit, Robert Zemeckis. You don't do the bad right-wing movies.
So the guy so basically people were apologizing to Robert Zemeckis and the guy that played the EPA guy in Ghostbusters 2 or 1. Those are 2 people that we have slandered, but not slandered because we apologized. We're gonna edit in some allegedlys. What was I gonna say? He's doing, yeah, allegedly. He's doing something else too in the near future. I want to say he got announced that he was working on something. Oh, a live action Pinocchio movie. Great.
Who's doing that?
Zemeckis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Polar Express 2, baby. Let's see what the dolls look like, but real life. Or that movie where remember that movie where Steve Carell lives in a city of dolls, but it's his imagination or something?
Oh, Welcome to Marwen.
Zemeckis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so was The Witches, our favorite movie from 2020.
Oh, yeah, that movie was bad. But anyway, the one thing is Zemeckis heroically refuses to let them make Back to the Future reboots until he is dead.
Honestly,
and the minute he is dead, they will announce the second or the 4th one. I guarantee it. Honestly,
that makes up for like a million The Witches. Just preventing that from happening.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure that's the thing. Like, the Back to the Future, even as like merchandise, right? I guess this movie made money, right? So like, this is a success financially for the Ghostbusters people. But I feel like a lot of the money from Ghostbusters comes from merchandise and just costumes and toys and Slimers and High C or whatever. And like, I don't think a new generation of kids I went to the store after I saw this movie and like I went to like a Target and I walked through the toy store. I don't think I saw any Ghostbuster stuff. So like with Back to the Future, it's like they don't make more movies, but they do still sell lots and lots of stuff based on those original movies. And, without diluting the brand, it seems to do pretty well. So I don't know. I feel like they could easily just not make more Ghostbusters and it would be cool. Instead, they made a lot.
Instead, they'll never stop making them.
They really will. What do you think the next one's going to be? Like the reboot? You think we do the kids?
It depends how well this one does, I guess. I don't think it's going to be just kids until all 4 of them are dead.
I could see Ernie Hudson I mean, it seems like, as far as the movie is concerned, his character is the most essential. Because Ernie Hudson's the guy at the end that's like, let's do more Ghostbusters. It made $44 million weekend, I guess? I don't know. Fucking this website just drives me crazy. I hate Box Office Mojo so much.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Domestic this weekend, $44 million. It's like, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I don't know how much it cost, but
Probably like $100 million.
yeah, right. See what if China liked it. It might not be out in China.
Well, fortunately, nobody accidentally mentions Taiwan, so...
Yeah, that's true. No ghosts of dissidents or protesters or anything like that show up.
Nobody acknowledges that
#1
Uyghur Muslims exist.
Yeah. This movie, it did well. I don't know. This movie made money. It like showed up in. I think they'll get it. I think we'll get another Ghostbusters movie within our lifetime.
Oh,
probably
without a
shouldn't,
doubt.
but we will.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I just meant whether they continue on this tack or not will depend on how well it does.
See, the problem with it is the kids aren't that essential to the movie at all. Like,
I mean, what is essential to the movie besides iconography
Twinkies,
from the first one?
Crunch bars, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because we haven't really talked about this element of it that much. It's going to run into the same problem as Stranger Things, where it's like, okay, ghosts are problems now, but why is this specific town and these specific kids, why do they need to be at the center of the next story? And the answer is they don't, but they'll figure it out because we love those kids are so cool. All of them,
they're so
even though
cool.
they're not. But yeah, I don't know. Know what they'll do. This is a little conundrum. I don't know.
Whatever it is, I'll probably hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see, you know what I could see? I could see a movie where it's just like Paul Rudd, Ghostbuster, you know?
You know what? I would watch that one. I would watch the Paul Rudd Ghostbusters.
I'd watch Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, and two of their adult friends, like wine moms and just like dads and stuff trying to Ghostbuster, and like they kind of stink at it because they're
Paul Rudd just trying to nail all the hot moms of his students.
Yeah, Paul Rudd trying to get possessed so he can have sex with the moms again. Oh no, Ghostbusters coming! Oh no, let's go to Walmart.
And he can be like, "Oh man, well, whoa, crazy that those ghosts forced us to do that." But I mean, like, oh man, imagine what it'd be like. What if we like liked it or something? Like, wouldn't it be so funny if we like did it again on our own, just like as a bit because the ghosts made us do it before? So like, what if we like had sex for real, just like as a bit? You know, wouldn't that be hilarious?
That would be so funny, Paul Rudd. I think they should. I think that's a great idea. A fun ghost threesome, maybe with, you know, another ghost person, or the Dan Aykroyd's blowjob ghost could show up this time. I think we should
finally.
Just do that.
The people have been demanding.
Yeah, I want an origin story for the blowjob ghost. What's it up to? Where did it come from? Why blowjobs? Why Dan Aykroyd?
That one, it's not the one that came.
Oh, very, very good. Very good. Yeah, this movie's great. Yeah, at least this movie, no, it did all the things that shouldn't have happened. Had that guy say, the guy did say who you gonna call. It was rough.
The guy said who you gonna call. Just like, the thing about that is he was a cop being like, you want your phone call? Who are you gonna call? But like the camera zoomed in on his face and he said it super dramatic, even though it made no sense for him as a character to do that. Just because just because we know that's the line.
Yeah, you figure in a movie like this, the whole thing would be like, maybe people would be making fun of her for being Egon's kid and be like, "Ooh, who you gonna call?" But no, yeah, they didn't know that. Also, that he's really mean to those kids. Like, he hangs up the phone call.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Definitely not with like a 12-year-old. What is a 12-year-old just like, oh, sorry, I wasn't able to tell mom what was going on. I was talking to somebody else. Do I get to call my mom or do I live in jail for the rest of my life? What's going on here?
Yeah,
buddy?
Actually, how did she find out if that's how Phoebe used the one phone call that he was letting them have?
I mean, maybe the brother gets a phone call too, and he was like, all right, I'm not calling any Ghostbusters with mine. I'm going to call her mom. But also, like, if someone gave me one phone call, I don't know anybody's number. Like, I feel like I'd have trouble with that.
Yeah, it's like, can I look? I'd have to be like, can I look at my cell phone to like see? Can I just use my cell phone? Can I just call someone from that? Because if you're giving me this phone, I don't know anyone's number. Like, this is useless to me.
Yeah. If my phone dies, my best answer for like how I get in touch with people is like, if I'm like, can I borrow your phone and then go on Twitter and DM some people? That seems like the easiest way for me to get in touch with people I know. And like, yeah, it was cool. All right. Yeah, I can't believe there were so many post-credit scenes for this movie. By the way, most of the people in my theater left before post-credit scene 2. I don't think you expect a second post-credit scene from a Daredevil, from a Ghostbusters movie.
I mean,
I would from a Daredevil movie, though.
I was about to leave, and then I was like, I should check just in case. And so I looked up, is there a second one? And Google told me yes, so I was like, fine. I gotta pee, but whatever.
Fine. Yeah, same. All right, let's get to our classic segment. Diggins, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. So recently I started a free trial of Dropout, the former...
Oh my gosh, the best.
Former College Humor? Current College Humor? I'm not sure
I
the
would say
status.
I think it's like spiritual successor to College Humor.
Okay. The spiritual successor to College Humor, a kind of like paid streaming service, but instead of showing you Friends, they just have a bunch of original content.
And they are friends on the thing, so, you know.
It's true. Well, they say they are. I mean, they're coworkers, so, you know, maybe they all hate each other. Anyway, I started a free trial in order to watch an episode of Actually featuring DJ.
Oh my God, he was on one too? What a hero. Did he absolutely spank the voice of McCree? Just kidding. It's Cassidy now or something.
It's Bobby Kotick.
What is that?
That's the name of the president of Blizzard, or the CEO, who threatened to kill an employee for complaining about his sexual harassing.
Oh my God, what is wrong with that company?
That's only one of the things he did, too.
Yeah, I guess like a lot of CEOs and companies are bad and have done terrible things, and that's not that unusual. But Jesus Christ, like, how? So much. It's insane.
Anyway.
It's not that insane, though, I guess.
No, DJ got 0 points.
It sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. But as long as I had this free trial, I was like, why don't I try out some of this other hot content that is now available to me? So I'm specifically recommending a show that aligns with my interests that they do, which is called Dimension 20.
Ah, yes.
That's their tabletop role-playing show where Brennan Lee Mulligan, who does a lot of like comedy, sketch and otherwise on the internet and with Dropout, where he is a major member of. But he has run now many seasons of games with his coworkers mainly. Where they play usually D&D, but heavily modified. He kind of makes his own settings and kind of changes some rules to fit those settings, which is pretty cool. I feel like a lot of shows that do that can like go so wild with it to the point where they're basically not playing D&D anymore, and sometimes that takes me a little out of it because I'm like, well, what are we even doing here? Like,
right. Yeah.
Are there actually rules to what's happening, or are you guys just doing an improv session where sometimes you roll a die?
Yeah.
Which is fine, but, you know, it's not what's being advertised to me, and so it can put me off, you know?
It's true. I feel like I've heard that, as a criticism of some D&D. But I do hear Brennan is one of the better DMs.
No, Brendan is great at it. That's actually what I was contrasting him, because he definitely like modifies things and like changes things around to fit with the settings of the game better, but he is very, very good at like still making it feel like a recognizable game system that is being played, which I personally like in my actual play shows. So and he's also just a very funny guy. He's great at like hopping into characters whenever an NPC shows up. And all the players are also, you know, all comedy actors like him. And so they're like, you know, the characters are so sharp. Everyone's bought in. The only one I finished so far is I watched one like standalone season they did called Tiny Heist.
I've heard that one's good. It
is very good. It has the McElroys in it, who are some podcasters I enjoy to begin with.
Podcast? The character
Yeah.
podcast is on it?
No, I'm not mentioning any characters named ridiculous things. That's not what I'm doing.
They could be in podcasts themselves. They should all be named podcast. That's why it's so much trouble in that family, because they're all podcast McElroy for the whole team.
Yeah, I guess that's it. They're probably going to do a bit about that now, because that's the kind of stupid thing they would do a bit about.
Pretty cool movie.
But anyway, that Tiny Heist season specifically is about like a secret like Honey I Shrunk the Kid style world out in like a family's backyard of like fairies and animate Toy Story toys and bugs and animals and stuff. But they're the players are a group that's been wronged by this one the borrower's like small person who lives in the house, and so they're pulling off a huge heist on his like secret vault of a roll of quarters in the kid's bedroom. It's really good. It's very funny. Brennan is super good at like weaving together a story and, you know, building a system that is like its own distinct thing, but still feels recognizable as a game, as based on Dungeons and Dragons, which I appreciate. So yeah, if you like actual play shows, I think I've recommended some before. I think Dimension 20 is a really good one. I'm pretty sure there are at least a couple seasons that are free on YouTube if you just want to check those out to see if you like it before signing up for Dropout. So yeah, Dimension 20, that's my rec for this week.
Yeah, besides the great content that I'm part of, all the stuff on that network, I feel like I love breaking news, love Game Changers. Like
Game Changers. I watched the one Game Changer you mentioned, the Yes or No.
Oh yeah, it's the best.
It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen shirts with that whole thing printed on it, and I almost got it, but then I didn't. But yeah, it's so funny, and I love because it's great because Brennan obviously is great. But if I remember correctly, the other contestants on that episode are Zach Oyama and Allie Beardsley, who are two of the other funniest people on that whole. Like they're both so funny, so it's just perfect. I have a feeling when the host put that one together, he was like, "I'm getting an 18 for this one," because like it can't just be the Brennan show. It's got to be. We need some really strong supporting characters as well. But yeah, I like Game Changers. It's kind of hit or miss in terms of like what you're getting. Not like what you're getting from it, but like some are like laugh out loud funny, and some are just kind of fun to watch. I don't think any of the episodes are bad, but like some of them, them finding out the game is just hilarious, and yeah, the most recent one was pretty good, and love that. What am I going to recommend? Let's see. I watched a bunch of things. I watched a couple shows, the beginnings of them, and then I stopped watching them. But I liked them, but I haven't finished them. But I'll rec. I watched that show, Arcana, or whatever it's called, the one that's the League of Legends show. It's probably pretty good. I think it's pretty interesting. I'm not quite sure where it's going. It feels a lot like Alita Battle Angel, so people like that, it's there.
So you're saying it's perfect.
Exactly. It's Alita Battle Angel, but with color and characters that are, good. And it doesn't have the worst. I'm not gonna say that's the worst actor I've ever seen in a movie, but boy,
wow.
Not Alita, the other one.
Wait, which one? Hold on. Now I don't remember
the
boyfriend.
which one.
Oh yeah, he sucks.
I don't know if the actor himself is bad, but boy, that character is dull. But anyway, no, not that. But wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so that's good. I like the Arcadia show or whatever it's called. I also watched an episode of a show on Peacock. Because that's how this works. There's just a billion streaming services, and that one, every so often you check in and you're like, oh, you got a show. Because you know what it is? They had a trailer out for the MacGruber show that's coming out in December, which I can't wait for, which got me like, oh, yeah, what's going on with Peacock? So I saw a show, first episode is the only one I could watch, called We Are Lady Parts. Have you heard about this?
I've heard the name. I don't know anything about it.
So it's about, like, I don't remember any of the characters' names. I only watched the first one. But it's about and I'm wondering now where it takes place. Because I feel like it's not America. It might be like Great Britain.
What were the accents like?
I don't remember now. I think they were. Oh God, I gotta Google it now because I don't want to be wrong. But anyway, the show is it's about a young-ish, probably 20s, Muslim girl who is a guitarist, kind of, but not really. Like, she doesn't want to be a guitarist because it's getting in the way of her finding like a man. They don't like him when they play guitar. I don't know.
Yeah, but, men don't like women who are like successful and accomplished. They want to feel better than them. So
exactly, yeah. And so she accidentally finds a band of other women who don't really fit in because they play music, and it's pretty funny. It's interesting in terms of like, and the band is called Lady Parts, I think. I can't remember if it's called Lady Parts or We Are Lady Parts, but yeah, just it's kind of interesting. It's pretty funny, and it's not. It's like not kind of thing you see all that often. So I like that. I also watched. I don't count this as a show, but I don't know. Diggins, you watched Defunctland?
I have watched one or two videos here and there, but I'm well aware of Defunctland.
Did you see their new one?
The one about FastPass, right?
Yeah.
I've seen a bit of it. I started it.
Very interesting. It's pretty much like a documentary about FastPass and just the idea of like these, FastPass like systems, because FastPass is the one that, started in Disney, but now they're everywhere. And it's just like the way that it kind of came up is very interesting. And the way that like lines were thought about it at Disney and how like different ticketing systems affected. How far in it did you get? Did you get to the part where they talk about the Country Bears and why that was a popular ride and stuff?
No, I have not seen that part.
Okay. So the one part that I thought was really interesting is they talk about different class of tickets. You used to have to buy different tickets to get into like different rides. So you get like an A, a B, a C, or D, or an E ticket. And different tickets corresponded to different like groupings of rides. And it was like understood that the E tickets were the good ones. Like that's where the best rides would be. And I assume it's just they were more expensive or whatever. But there was some sort of like thought process behind that. And the Country Bears Jamboree was an E-ticket, even though it didn't seem like one. And it seems like that created accidental demand for this ride where people were like, oh, shit, an E-ticket. Let's get on that. Because then when they got rid of it, it kind of went back to normal. That's just like a thing that I thought was interesting in the beginning of the ride, especially because now, this started with like you would go to Disney World, just wait on lines. And that's how I thought it worked. But
that's so weird. Yeah. Like it hasn't been like that anytime I've ever been.
Right, yeah. And now we have to pay for the Fast Pass, and you have to reserve rides, and it's just so complicated. Like, there's, like, everybody's got, like, little amusement parks by them that have rides that you have to buy individual ride tickets for or something, and you get in the park for free. But with Disney World, it's like you pay to go to the park, and also you have to pay to upgrade to all the... It's just, it's insane.
Well, it didn't... it wasn't like that for a while, but now it is with the Genie Plus or whatever system.
But and that's why it's so strange, is because it started like that. And then it kind of was great for a while. And then they started Fast Pass in the 90s. And it was just this nice, helpful thing that was like, we can get more people on more rides and they'll buy more stuff. So it's a win-win-win. Like, if they're waiting online, they're not buying stuff. So it was great. And then somebody was like, well, actually, I thought about it. And we can make this something people pay for and it'll be great. And now it's everything. So it sucks. But also just like, I don't know, lines are interesting. The idea of lines, we spend so much time on lines, like in terms of like traffic or waiting for stuff or, it's just like, it's a big part of our lives. It doesn't have to be, but it is. So and it was pretty cool. I would recommend that to people. It's on YouTube, Defunctland, and it's like their most recent upload as of now. So it's definitely easy to find.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like, I don't know, I haven't read too much stuff like Nice House on the Lake, Little Bisexual, Superboy. Like, I've read some comics. I've kind of got a backlog piling up. But yeah, there's good stuff in the world of comics, and but yeah, I really have just been like watching a bunch of stuff, and I'm finally caught up on Succession. That has been my goal for a while, so I'm there. I have lots of takes. They're all terrible, but that's fun. So
now you can understand all the memes when they show up every Sunday.
I did get a meme the other day where I was like, oh yeah, I know what they're talking about. So it's very, it's very rewarding. Next week, speaking of rewarding, what are we going to reward people?
I don't remember what we said.
Probably Matrix, but not
probably
not,
the
not
Matrix
definitely.
2.
Yeah, if DJ has a better idea, or if you guys have a better idea, we'll do that maybe. But we just have to we're gonna run into some big releases, and then it'll be Matrix time. So it might be worth it to get those out of the way now, so we have an option, have options for the future.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll play it by ear. Diggins, do you have anything to plug?
Just my usuals. I have my newsletter, a littleperspective.substack.com, and I stream at twitch.tv/thisisanodname.
You streamed anything good recently?
No, I've been visiting my parents, which is not really a conducive environment to streaming, but I should be finishing off Deltarune for good soon, and then we'll see what I move on to.
And then Halo and Fortnite, and then you're selling bathwater. You're going right down the pipeline of streaming,
go doing my streams from a hot tub, all the hits.
Yeah. I mean, the first person that thought of that, do you think they were like, this is a sexy thing? Or they were like, I could get away with doing this from a hot tub,
I think they thought it was a funny thing. It's like, haha, this is a joke.
Yeah, that's true for them. And, yeah, I don't have anything new either. They got a video coming out soon, but as of now, nothing too exciting. And, yeah, next week maybe Matrix, probably, who knows. And until then, I am at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
And I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. We love you.